of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV, episode 77. As always, my lovely co-host, Scott Johansson. How are you, sir?
I'm gonna put some lipstick on if I'm lovely.
Oh, man. Oh. So, David Horvath is on the show today, everybody. We have a great guest, David Horvath, Nostalgic Resin Productions. Some cool stuff going on. But it took us 45 minutes for Scott to get back into the Zoom meeting because he screwed it up because he was playing with filters like a teenage girl, putting lipstick on and eyebrows. And yeah, good times.
And I was pretty.
You were, for once in your life, yes, you were. How are you otherwise, sir?
Great. Your mom likes when I put lipstick on. So it's...
Wait a minute. We're 2 minutes and 14 seconds in, and you're already dropping that crap. All right, great.
Well, because I know they probably watched the beginning, so I'm going to... So when she comes to you, Mrs. Walker, just so you know, your son started this little war with me. And until he calls a truce, okay.
I'm never calling a truce.
Yes, you are, because she's going to make you.
No, she won't. No. How are you, though? You good? What are we here to celebrate, Scott? What was yesterday? We're recording this on August 24th. What was the 23rd?
23rd was the first day of the Virgo horoscope.
Happy birthday, Scott Johansson. To
Yes.
my lovely partner in crime. Did you have a good day? The big 6-0.
6-0. Yeah.
What'd you do special? Anything?
Yeah, I stayed in the fucking house. It's, for those of you that don't know, we're going through a little bit of a heat wave here.
Dude, yeah. It's
100 degrees with high humidity, heat index of 100, feels like 115. And I walked out of the door yesterday morning and I was like, oh my God, it was stifling. It was so nasty out.
And now that you're like senior citizen level, like, yeah, you got to stay out of the heat. You could just.
So
like,
I did go out. I did a few things in the, like I had to fill a hole that the dog dug and do things out in the yard. But I mean, I was in like 10 minutes. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done.
Did they get you a cake? What happened at the house? Party? What? Anything?
No, nothing.
60's a big one. Come on.
We went out to dinner the day before with my one stepdaughter and her husband. And,
Okay, I need to know this because I know your food habits. When you guys go out to dinner for your 60th birthday, where did you go?
Wonderburger in Mount Greenwood.
All right.
And I had been there once before, but that was before they moved it.
Uh-huh.
So they moved it now, and it's like an art gallery too, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But it was good. It was good.
All right.
And then I had a chocolate sundae with a candle in it and a milkshake to go.
Did the restaurant come out and sing, or was this a lonely
No, I
sing
asked
to
them
yourself?
not to do the singing. They would have, but no. And so I had the burger and the fries and the 2 sodas and the sundae and drank the milkshake on the way home and came home, sat in the chair and went, Braw, and that was it for the night. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're still here at 60. This is it's kind of, I think the last person to leave a comment on your Facebook page, so it stayed right below your final. But I wanted to celebrate here with you today. So happy birthday. I love you.
Happy birthday.
But I was thinking today.
You didn't get me a gift? Yeah, I was thinking that too.
You didn't give me one for my birthday?
Your birthdays are insignificant. You're not even 50 yet.
Oh, so birthdays are insignificant until you're 50? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Or just my birthdays are insignificant?
Well, no. Yeah, that too. But I mean, you were born on Halloween. You get a lot of candy. What do I get? I get nothing. Okay. When I was a kid and my birthday was coming up, I knew fucking school was going to start soon. All right.
That's pretty bad. That's not
school is going to start soon. So,
that's terrible. But I was thinking, I don't think I always ask you how you're doing. And I've never actually, I don't think I need to go back and look at the episodes. I don't think you have ever actually asked me how I'm doing. I just automatically say how I'm doing.
Yeah, well, because I don't really care.
No, all right, good. Thanks for confirming it. That's kind of
Who cares?
yeah.
Who cares how you're doing? Sitting there with your tumbleweed beard
Yeah.
and
All
pompous
right.
black shirts.
I knew that's what it was. All right, dude. I found. Okay, can I talk about black shirts for a while?
Oh,
So,
please.
You brought it
people
up.
will be riveted talking about your black shirt.
So, just so everyone knows, I wear black clothes most of the time. I have probably 20 of the exact same long sleeve black t-shirt, and I had probably 30 of the same exact short sleeve black t-shirt. But they're all getting kind of long in the they're not really good anymore. They're starting to need to be thrown out. So I used to get those at Old Navy. I don't like the fit that they have now. The shirts have changed. And so I took a chance on this new bag of 6 black t-shirts from Amazon. There's Gildan shirt. They're perfect. There's no tag. It's printed on the back. So I got my first 6. I'm on my way to adding another 20 to the collection to fill the top drawer of plain black t-shirts, because I wear the exact same thing every day to school. And the kids must think Mr. Walker wears the same clothes every day, but it's a different same black t-shirt every day. So I'm happy. I'm excited for black t-shirts. This is one of them. New.
Yeah. Most people outgrow the goth thing in their 20s.
It's not a goth thing. I feel comfortable in it. I don't. And that's why I like to wear long sleeves.
Because your beard shows up on the black t-shirt.
It does, but that's not why. I'm telling you. I just feel. I don't know.
I need to wear darker colors because I'm always spilling on myself now.
That's number one reason why.
Fitting up and whatever.
That's why I wear dark clothes. They can hide stains a little better, unless they're white.
Yeah, that's great.
So, are you going to ask me how I am?
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking for the first time ever. Actually, I'm not. I'm
Yeah, see, this is why I don't ask, because you go into this whole fucking.
I just want to say, after going back and editing the last episode, I sounded terrible. And I want to apologize for how crappy I sounded, because I was not feeling well. I was hopped up on Dayquil to actually get that to happen. And I was sick for a while. And I'm still kind of My knee's blown out. I got to go to a doctor's appointment. It's a mess. And I have some bad news. I just want to say this has been a hard week with mental stuff for me, with work stuff and kids that I've known. I had a student who was murdered that I used to have from kindergarten through 8th grade. I knew this kid, and he was 18. And if you could just, reach out to kids, give them a model, find them something to do other than screw around at 2:30 in the morning. I think models are a great way, because if you're addicted to models, you're not spending your money on stuff that's going to get you in trouble most of the time. So, look for those kids that need a little extra help, a little extra guidance, and then, buy them a model. Show them what you're doing.
This is not the first time, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. I was not sure, but I seem to remember there were.
And even I was talking to Brian about it, because Brian's a teacher too, and he's had it happen as well. So it's something that's kind of common in the kind of schools that we're in. And it just, when it does happen, it's like, and this is a kid that I like this kid, and I'm sad that he took a turn. So, or didn't, or was with the wrong kids, or didn't listen to me. Because I remember specifically telling him, dude, be good, make good choices. And, so look out for those kids, help them out, buy them a model, do something, and do some time. And today, as we're going live, Bray Wyatt dies, and Terry Funk died yesterday. So if you're a wrestling fan,
Wyatt is.
Dude, Bray Wyatt's a newer wrestler, and he's kind of been out for a while. So I'm kind of hoping it's not a really sad story. But Terry Funk was old, one of the great legends. Terry Funk passed away yesterday. It's been a weird week, man. So
did Terry Funk have a nickname at one point?
What was it? No, it was always I always knew him as Terry. He was one of the original extreme hardcore wrestlers, would get the shit kicked out of him. And the barbed wire stuff and the crazy bleeding I hardcore remember, guys.
For those 3 weeks that I watched wrestling, I do remember the name, but so I know he's old timer.
Man, it's what a week.
I
Anyway,
should have a show like Piper's Pit. I
you should.
just have people on that I just hit and set up, get beat up and
Dude,
stuff.
Piper's Pit was so good. So good. So good.
Who was the guy? Was it Jimmy Superfly that they smashed bananas in his face or whatever? And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, stuff you could never get away with.
Oh, hell
I know
no.
exactly. I'll find a picture of still of that and throw it up. For people, this is Model Club TV. We talk about model kits. It's normally not this weird in the beginning. Actually, it usually is. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Please do that. Our email, let's make sure I'm on the right place. Our email for the show is modelclubtv@gmail.com. What'd you say?
No, I was yawning.
modelclubtv@gmail.com.
Talk of your health bores me.
I know it does. And I didn't even go into my health. Like,
I'm such a terrible person.
You are.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. You don't want to talk about it, so why ask?
The voicemail number 708-816-4299. We have 2 voicemails today. And one of them is the return of you know who. We'll get there when we get there. But oh man. Dude. All right. Also, down below, Discord. Join the Discord channel. Scott, how's Discord been doing this past week?
Oh, Discord. We had a lively discussion.
That's what I'm hearing.
About 3D printing and garage kits. And it was actually, I mean, we were busting ass, but it was, but it's an interesting subject.
Okay. I was at Mask Fest, and I'm going to have a video coming out. I shot a video for Mask Fest, a walkthrough of that. So it's great to see people.
Nobody was really mad or anything. It was just,
All right, good. If you want our model kit for free, it's going to be down. You can download the links, print it yourself. If you want one, get a hold of me. There's 2 sizes. One is $30. Is a bigger one, 1/6 scale, close to 1/6. It's not really 1/6. Is $55. So I can get those out to you. I did send out a few of those this past week.
No.
Also, real quick, bookkeeping. What do you got? What are you grabbing?
Go ahead. No,
what are you showing? What are you doing?
Go ahead.
You're making me nervous.
Bookkeeping, go ahead.
I don't like when you surprise me with.
I'm not going to surprise you with anything.
For those of you who were in the Mark's Head contest, I did get all of the consolation prizes printed. So those are boxed up. I'm starting to start shipping those. And for people who want to know what they're getting, it's this. And it's over on my mini factory. I'll put a link to it. I do not have the rights to sell it. That's why I'm giving it away. But that's what you'll be getting, is this kind of caricature creature bust in the mail.
I wouldn't mind getting those.
I have an extra for you, sir. Since you say I never
Maybe you
give
can put it in that box with all the other shit you haven't brought to me yet. Okay. Jag.
So that's coming. And then one other bookkeeping thing, I think Dirty Down. There's a Dirty Down Rust video coming. I promise, for the yellow rust. There's a couple other little videos coming. The unboxing for Horvath's kit is coming. Going back to work has kicked my ass, and being sick has kicked my ass.
And
Scott, that's my next question for you. How's it going with the sales?
So a couple people are sending Jason emails, which is fine. He'll forward them to me. Sales are going okay. Right now there's just a list. I have a couple printed downstairs. I just been procrastinating, so that's on me. But if you're on the list,
typical.
I do have a list. I'm going to be getting to you, and we're going to start getting these out probably in a couple weeks, because I got some stuff going on in the next 2 weeks here, or the next week. So
if people aren't on Facebook, what should they do to get a hold of you when they see it on this show? Continue to email me and have it forwarded.
Email
the show and we'll forward it. Okay.
Yeah, and find me on Facebook or whatever.
There it is. Here's the email again: modelclubtv@gmail.com. I'll get it over to Scott. And
so while we're talking about mail,
oh yeah, let's get that out of the way.
As you all know, and I've discussed it. I've been getting all these Bigfoot mails,
and again, I have nothing to do with this. I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
So the other day, this shows up on my porch. Okay. Let's see what that says there.
What does it say? It's hard to
It
read.
doesn't say anything. It's just trees.
Okay.
So you got
I thought
Bigfoot
those
on
were
that
letters.
side. You got a Bigfoot on that side. Okay. And the
Where's it
return
from?
address,
Where did it come from?
The return address is Harry, Hay, Henderson, believers.org. Okay. Now, I don't know who's really sending this, but you need to go to school the way you spelled believers. 459, blah, 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 blah. Yellowstone National Park.
Is that a real thing? Did you look it up?
I didn't look up because they spelled believers Bielievever.
Oh, hold on. We're doing that again. Harry
Henderson.
Henderson.
Oh, I don't think that's real.
Harry Henderson.
Okay. Believers.org, but they spelled believers wrong.
Spell it.
The way they spelled it or the way it should be
no,
spelled?
the way they spelled it.
Bielievers.org.
No, it doesn't.
And anyway, return address Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming 82190. And it does say from 82190. So maybe this really got shipped.
Dude, this is a long con of long cons. I'm loving every second of this.
From Yellowstone. And so what they did is they sent this Bigfoot model that's 3D printed by someone that knows how, I might add. Okay. But now the interesting part of this. Okay. Hold on, I gotta dig it out. Okay. The interesting part of this, and this is just another clue we're working on. Okay, and I don't know if you can make that out, but they took Wells' Scott Johansson head and incorporated it into this bionic Bigfoot file. Okay.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Oh my God, that is awesome.
So,
all right.
Curiouser and curiouser. I just, you
gotta build and paint that. You gotta build and paint it.
No, Paul wants it. I'm going to send it to Paul. Paul wants it. I'm going to send it to Paul. Although he's probably responsible for it.
You're going to send it back to Paul, probably.
But yeah, I'll get it back. So anyway, I find it hilarious that we've gone from wasting money on stamps to now we're sending packages and 3D prints. And I'm like, man, guys, just send me the cash equivalent. For enough cash, I'll say I believe in Bigfoot. Okay. I do have a price. So for enough cash, I will say it. But
oh my God. All right, you ready for our giveaway?
Let's do a giveaway.
Okay. So for those of you who entered this, if I missed somebody, I am sorry. There was a lot of comments this last episode. I think I got everybody. So I think I'm good. For those of you who forgot, and it's been in the way. All right, the first one we're pulling for, and these are from Ron Joseph. Thank you, Ron Joseph, for these very generous donation. So we're pulling 3 names today. The first name gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 model kits, and they're all the Silly Surfers that I have here. Silly Surfers, Hot Dog. We went over them last time. You get this stack of Silly Surfer kits. This is the first name I'm pulling. Okay, we're gonna do that. Oh my gosh. First. Here we go.
You're not pulling a name. You're
spinning the wheel.
The wheel of names.
What? To the right web window. Cross your fingers. Hold on. Oh no, it's this one. Got it. I hit the wrong button. All right. Here's the spin. Clicking the spin. Scott, I'm hitting shuffle. Tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Spinning. And here we go. Who will get the 5 Silly Surfers? RC Flex 1. RC Flex 1, you are the Silly Surfer winner. So we're going to remove him from the pack. Silly Surfers for RC Flex 1. Second stack. second stack is 4 of the. My earplug came out. My earphone came out. Of the what are these called? The Frantics. So you get the 4 Frantic kits. This is the second person. Ugh. Dude, look at this pile of madness. All right. Scott, tell me.
I think Ron Joseph again, because he shipped all that to you, didn't he? Or
no, he brought it in a big box down to
okay.
Wonderfest. So he did drive it to me, which made it
But
a lot.
still, it's still a lot.
Which I have to ship out all those creature heads, and now I'm shipping out. And YouTube monetization ain't paying for it. Trust me. All right. Tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Spinning. And the winner is dun dun dun. Joe Bello. Joe Bello. Joe Bello gets those. All right, and then the final one. I'm gonna use my foot to get it, Scott.
That's great. That's what someone wants. Your barefoot fucking prints with your nasty toes. Yeah, look at you're nasty. You nasty.
Oh, I'm tangled. All right.
You're nasty as we are. Yeah, I'm out of focus.
All right, tell me when to stop shuffling. For the one single Silly Surfer, tell me when, Scott.
When, Scott?
The winner is dun dun dun. Rod Hickey. Rod Hickey gets 1.
Mod Rod.
All right.
Talked to Rod the other night.
You did? How is he?
He's good.
He's good? Okay. Let me get these out of the...
Ooh, look, my goony eyes over there. Look. The goony eye.
The Goonie eye. Have you ever thought about getting that fixed?
Twice.
Twice?
3
What do they
times.
got to do to fix that?
Operate. That's not pleasant, and it still didn't fix it, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh. Do they take
Used
your
to be
eyeball
worse.
out and put it back in, like turn it and then stick it back in? Like, what do they do?
Dude, I'm not awake for that one.
No, but
Okay.
didn't you research it?
Yeah, they take that muscle off and they reattach it.
But do they
Okay.
pull your eyeball out and then...
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I'm going to
Okay.
look it up and tell you.
It was bad enough when the doctor told me that he had my kidney in his hand. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. All right, our second giveaway.
Well, you want to know if the eyeballs fucking come.
No, I mean, you don't want to hear that as a person, that your kidney was in someone's hand.
Oh.
All right. Not our second giveaway. Next time's giveaway. I've had these sitting here for a while. They're from Wonderfest. And they are from, this is one of 3. One of more than 3, actually. From Jamie Sy, who we're going to be talking about in a minute. The Nosferatu Batman thing. We're going to have one of these for you. And I will pull it out of the box. No, I don't want to pull it out of the box because it's packed nice and easy. I'll find a picture of it somewhere and put it up. But we're going to be giving this away. What?
For Marty. I printed one of those for Marty.
Pretty much for Marty?
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, it's a really nice piece. 3D printed Batman bust. If you're interested in it, all I want you to do is say happy birthday, Scott, in the comments. Happy 60, something. Some beautiful birthday message of Scott. And you will be entered for the Batman Nosferatu bust. Okay? That's next time. Comments below. Thank you, Jamie Sy. And we don't mention it enough because we forget. Please head on over to 3D Prints and Garage Kits Facebook group, the group that Jamie Sy started. Great stuff going on over there. Lots of help. Lots of cool stuff being shown.
Yeah, I believe he lost a subscriber because of us. But
Let's talk about that. Can we talk about that? We need to talk about that.
are we done with the giveaways?
We are done.
What do you want to talk about?
Can we talk about that for a second? The boomer.
Let's gladly talk.
The boomer. So we thought it would be funny because a lot of our listeners, viewers are boomers. Boomer is not a slang term. When you're using it, it's not a slight. It is not a derogatory term. When you're using it as you're targeting the boomer generation, we did not expect that to become one of our most controversial moments. Like, what
I wouldn't say most controversial, but it was.
but it's right up there. Like, Scott,
Well, it wasn't-
as
it wasn't.
someone
It
who
was
is
for
a
one
boomer,
person.
like, what? What?
The comment since got deleted, so I'm sure that person deleted the comment. unfortunately for them, I screen grabbed it. So I just want to speak to it for a minute here. Let me see where I sent it. I screen grabbed it, and I'm not going to give the guy's name. His comment was, "Why the boomers reference? What a disgusting channel. We're a disgusting channel."
Okay, well, okay. Honestly, though, we're kind of
Okay.
discussing it. It's like,
Then he asked, "You going to make videos for the gays and blacks next? Come on. What is wrong with you?" That was his comment on the YouTube channel. Okay. So I commented back because a lot of people that ask us and a lot of our audience are boomers.
Yeah.
This is for everyone.
Yeah.
Lighten up, Francis, I told them. Okay. So I thought about that for a while and I said, no, that's not enough because, I'm an asshole when I have to be. And so I responded.
for those of you who don't know, when Scott has a target, it's a dog with a bone.
So remember those shooting games where you had to shoot the star out of the piece of paper to win a stuffed animal?
Yeah.
I'm not done till the star's gone. Okay. So I replied back, what a disgusting reply. I said, and then why the gay and blacks comment? What's wrong with you? It's an informational video, not a political statement. Please unsubscribe if you are. Okay. And, I'm sorry. I don't like to be like that. But, okay. And I can see if we use the term boomers, even if we used it as an insult, like if we just said, hey, this is for all you dumb boomers out there that just don't get it or whatever. Okay. But it wasn't that at all. It wasn't even close to that at all.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to be funny, but not. I don't get the.
And then he goes on with the gays and blacks, so that kind of tells me where he stands with all that. Okay. And I'm like, well, if I thought I needed to do one for gays and blacks, I would. Okay, but I think gays and blacks and anybody else can pretty much follow that video. So
it was weird. Weird moment.
It was really weird that someone got so bent out of shape about it. And
but whatever.
You know what?
I hope they have a good life.
You know what? That's kind of where I am. If the guy's that mad, hey, he can come on and discuss it with me if he wants. But man, wouldn't that be fun?
He probably.
But there was nothing ill intended. There was nothing politically intended. It was just, again, our target audience. Most of them are going to be baby boomers. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's whatever. I don't get it. News and reviews, Scott. All right, gonna push the button. Cross your fingers. Yeah, of course. All right, this first slide. What is this giveaway? What's going on? You put this in.
No, I put this in at the last minute.
What is this?
So for our California viewers, California State Lottery has these Universal Monster scratch off lottery tickets.
Oh, dude, that's kind of cool.
And so I was telling Danny Sirocco sent me these picture of them, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm saving a set," and I'm like, what if you got the $30,000 winner and you never scratch it off? Okay. And I was telling him years ago, and I don't even know if you remember, Illinois had King Kong lottery tickets.
Yeah.
And I've still got some, but I scratched all mine off because it's like, no, I'm not taking the chance. Okay.
I'll bet there's people that never scratch those off.
But
and Danny will probably be that person.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That is really, really nice. Hey,
so
if there's anyone in California that wants to send us some, I will pay for my tickets. Give me a set. What are they going? How much is each ticket?
I think they're $2 a piece.
All right. Yeah.
So
4, 6, 8.
10, and
12, 14.
Again, it goes to me again, the longevity of these movies that
We're
are
coming up on 100 years.
100 years old, some of them. Yeah. and King Kong's 90 years old this year.
Yeah.
Frankenstein and Dracula 2 years ago were 90 years old. So I mean, and this is a conversation I had with a few people recently, and I think you were one of them. In 90 years, are there going to be Lord of the Rings lottery tickets?
Yes.
Are there going to be
Lord of the Rings is a different.
Are there going to be Star Wars lottery tickets?
There will be Star Wars. There's a few movies that will always. I think there'll be some of that, but you're right. The longevity of those original black and white Universal monsters will always be.
It's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And this is why the garage kits of these characters, no matter how many there are, if they're done well, they sell.
But then, when everyone's gone, will they? Who knows? I don't know.
Which I was finally sent my replacement head.
Hold on, I got to get back to you. Hold on. Just Scott. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I got my replacement head for the bride kit that my dog chewed up.
Oh, cool. Now you're out of focus again, I think.
Oh, well.
All right. There we go. Nope.
So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. It was a fun little tidbit.
Jersey Fest. Just a quick reminder, Jersey Fest is coming up September 22nd through the 24th, 2023. Head on over to jerseyfestfair.com, the Facebook group. I'll have the links down below. Jersey Fest is coming. I think most of those classes are either sold out or getting close to sold out. I think there was some new vendor information put up today or recently. I have kind of been away from Facebook the last week or so just because a lot's going on. So, Jersey Fest.
Saul announced today, which he had clued us in, but the people taking his Dracula class, they're going to get a little Dracula emblem piece as a gift for taking the class. And he did announce that today, so I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. But,
yeah, good.
He had told us about that.
Yeah, sweet little, that's a nice little tidbit to have. Nice little tidbit.
But a lot of people are still asking me if I'm going. And right now the answer is still no. And I'm going to tell you my biggest reason, because the wife told me, people want to see you. You should go, which, is I think she wants to get me out of the house. But
yeah, I think that's probably. Oh, everyone wants to see you, Scott. You gotta go. Everybody wants to see.
But
hey,
well, you've pulled that shit with me too at Wonderfest. Oh, you got to be at the table. People are coming to see.
That's
you.
true. It is true. It is true. It is true.
But anyway, my big problem is when I went 4 years ago, I flew Southwest to Newark. I took the shuttle over to the hotel. I was done.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I guess Southwest stopped flying into Newark.
Yeah, that's a big thing for us because
Southwest flies out of the smaller airport here, Midway,
which is close to your house, not far from your house, a little closer to mine. O'Hare is the big airport that's crazy. That's a lot more to park at. If you're
and I couldn't get a straight flight. And I'm going to look again, but I couldn't get a straight flight to Newark from Midway.
Yeah.
And I don't want an 8-hour expedition where they got to fly me to Atlanta and then fly me back up to Newark. Okay. I don't, that is just so completely.
Yeah, I get it.
The reason I fly is I don't want to drive 14 hours.
Yeah.
But let's spend 10 hours commuting. I can fly nonstop from O'Hare, but the flight prices go up from O'Hare. The daily parking goes up where I can park at Midway for $15 a day. So I go on Friday night to Sunday. I'm spending $30 in parking.
Yeah.
I get off the plane, I get in my own car, and I come home. Okay. And it's straight down Cicero Avenue here. Takes me about half an hour to get home from there. O'Hare's construction right now going up there. It's just, I don't want to do it.
I get it. I wish I could, but I already had tickets bought a year in advance to, which I think might be the final tour of like one of my top 3 favorite bands, which is Swans. And I cannot miss that. So that's where we are. All right. Back to model kits. Our good friend Jamie Sy, who I don't think either of us would still be here without. It's helped us so many times. he, just like our guest today, has taken a chance and paid a sculptor to create a 3D file for him that he's going to be selling prints of. And it's something he's always wanted. And he's calling it Prince Fishman. And you can tell what it is by looking at the picture. Prince Fishman in a kind of, he's doing them in 2 scales. I'm going to read through what I got here for a second. Please feel free to reach out to Jamie via Messenger on Facebook or the post in 3D Prints Garage Kit. So you can head over there. The link's down below. Let them know the scale you'd like. Prices and scales will be solidified after test prints. Estimated cost for 1/6 will be around the $100 mark. 1/12 will be around $40 to $50 plus shipping. Kit is 8 parts, a base, nameplate, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, right hand, and weapon. Thanks for looking at all this, he says. If it goes over, he has plans for a few more of these cover kits from the, is it Silver Age? What do you call that, Silver Age?
Yeah.
80s?
Yeah.
So,
70s even.
Yeah, 70s, kind of. Like when I was a kid, you were a kid. What do you think, Scott? I think this turned out fantastic. I'm glad he took a chance on this thing.
I am too. I get one. I like 1/6. I'm surprised. Maybe he will do it in 1/8, kind of an Aurora scale thing too.
Yeah.
No, this came out really good. Nice base.
I think Aurora was 1/12, wasn't it? Closer to 1/12.
Yeah.
We're gonna have this fight. But he does want it to be like an Aurora tribute kind of thing. With a simple base, a nameplate, figure. Here we got some pictures I have up here. The base is packed with tons of cool little details, like an old style Aurora kit. Well done, Jamie. This sculpture you got, I think, killed it. And I'm looking forward to more stuff you do with it. Really good stuff. Really good. This picture, the nameplate even has that really cool, like, kind of double layer to it.
Yeah. Not fun to paint, but
Scott, if you could go back and pick a cover, which cover would you pick for a kit for this age of comics? Like, do you have a dream cover you wish was done?
This was always one of my favorites.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a good question for the group. What cover would you like done? And some of them have been done, like by Bowen, or the poses.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, yeah. If you have suggestions, put them in the comments below. Jamie's watching and reads every time. So
I think it was Silver Surfer #4 had the surfer coming down on Thor, and it's really a cool dynamic.
Wait, what?
Coming down on, not going down.
Oh, okay.
Pig. Okay.
Wow. Different comic there.
So, yeah, there were a lot of cover arts or iconic poses that, and this is an iconic pose, and
it kind of flies in because what is your big complaint about modern comic book kits?
It looks like the comics, not like some ultra rare. And what they did to this character in the last Black Panther movie is disgusting. So it's, this looks like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I will say that I think Bowen did a statue similar, and I think Hard Hero did a similar statue. But again, for what you can buy this for and paint yourself, there you go.
And I'm glad. Here's a technical question. Would you rather have the sculptor mess up the anatomy like it is on the cover, or make it or fix it like he did for the kit? Because that shoulder's wrong. That's all wonky and way out there. The legs are way too short in that drawing.
Well,
but I'm glad, for me personally, I like that it's normal looking compared to.
Tony went through this with the Iron Man sculpt that he was working on, in that he tried to match the artwork.
Yeah.
But when you print it looks wonky.
Yeah.
So I think there's a happy medium in there.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to overdo it,
Right.
make it ultra realistic. So I think this is a good mixture.
Yeah, I'm glad it really like, and I think I even said this to Jamie. If you go back and look at not He-Man action figures, but the artwork from He-Man, it has that really kind of classic muscle guy look to it, and I think it fits perfectly. But Jamie, I am proud of you. I don't know if Scott is. I'm proud of you for taking a chance and doing this, and it's so good to see you doing it.
Hope he's feeling good.
He should be. He should be. All right,
Jamie's awesome, man. Jamie's the guy. So,
all right, this next one, Scott.
The last of the banana splits.
Yeah,
by our friend Well Winter, and I have to tell you, and I really like the Drooper.
Yep.
But I think this could be the best of the four. Okay. When I look at his render of this, okay, it looks like a photograph from the show.
Yeah,
okay?
It does. And I'm going to skip ahead a couple pictures. You can't see them, but when you turn it around and look at the back, you know what? I don't know if it was like this on the other ones. You can see where the zipper would be. Like there's that line down his back, which would be the zipper for the suit. And I think that's
maybe.
Really, yeah, it's really cool touch. Like, wow. So do you know his plan? Is he making a base for all of them through his Patreon, or all of them individual? Like these are just.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but this might not be the last we've seen of the banana splits from Well.
Okay.
And
can I guess? I know nothing about it. Does it involve a car?
I don't know. No, he hasn't told me.
Oh, he hasn't said? Okay. All right.
I don't know. Okay. So I did ask him to do something for me.
The slide in the burlap sacks.
No, no, I want just a logo plate for it.
Okay.
That I can display too. Because although he has the logos on the base, I'd like to have a
banana splits logo,
a vertical one.
Yeah.
So and again, these are they came out great.
Yeah,
this one came out great.
They really did. So I know how you feel now, because Well Winter just posted something literally as we were going live tonight, and we had to quick throw them in there. This is a cartoon.
You were throwing them in as I was throwing them in.
We were putting them in at the exact same time. I'm blown away. I'm so happy. There's two things in this show, this episode, of kits that I have always wanted. And this is the first one we're going to show. I've always wanted somebody to do the Dungeons and Dragons animated figures as model kits. And I messaged him as soon as I saw this. All I said was, dude. And I was like, this is amazing. You have to do more of this. He's like, I'm going to do them all. And he said they're going to be on his Patreon. I'm not on his Patreon, so I'll probably end up buying them extra. Maybe I'll end up doing the Patreon. He has plans to do more. So he said all of them. So I'm hoping that's all of them, which would be the heroes, the villain, Venger, the villain, Dungeon Master, Uni, the unicorn. Some of the monsters like the Hook Horror and the Bullywugs would be awesome. But for those of you looking, this is Bobby the Barbarian. I think it was Bobby from the Dungeons and Dragons 1980s, 70s. When was it? 80s, I think. I used to watch this every Saturday morning. So now I know kind of like, oh my God.
It's nice to see you get excited about a Well piece.
And he's like Herculoids I love, because I watch that all the time too. But this was one that I like, one of those cartoons that I ran home to every day to watch. So it's good to see. I'm going to get to this picture here that has the parts breakdown. Again, his part breakdowns are awesome. His renders are amazing as always. But dude, I'm so happy these are coming. Finally, someone's doing it. It's funny because
cool? Put my head on there with the Viking hat.
Is that the same helmet? I wonder if that's where it came from. It's similar.
Smashing down on your head with that would be awesome. Okay.
This reminds me, it was Brazil had a commercial, a live action commercial that had all the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon figures as real people in the commercial. You can find it. I'll put a link or something and you can kind of see what they look like in live action. And maybe it was bigger in Brazil than it was here. I don't know. So, well, thank you, dude. I'm so happy you're doing these.
And again, his renders are amazing.
I know.
Okay.
Let me get back
that
to
Fleagle looks like a reference photo I would send him. And I sent him a lot of reference for Fleagle. The renders are just amazing. That he, not just the sculpts, but when he colorizes.
When he colors, he does. He's so good at it.
It looks like. I know Tony's asked me before. What program does that guy use?
I wonder too.
You see the shadows and the highlights. But I sent him a bunch of reference for this character. And it's awesome. And one of the pictures I sent him that I thought was cool was him holding out his ear.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's what he did there. He had him holding out his ears.
I'm so excited for this Dungeons
You can leave the guitar off this one if you want.
Yeah, you could. So well done, as always.
Yeah, this is awesome.
All right, next up in my exciting kits coming is from kits that I've always wanted. Is from Vengeance Studios, and sorry, Garage Kit guys, they're both 3D prints. The last one's a 3D print, and so are these going to be. So from Vengeance Studios, they're doing the 13 Ghosts over on their Patreon. So if you haven't seen 13 Ghosts, decent movie, but amazing ghost designs that are in there. And I have always wanted someone to do all 13 ghosts as kits. And no one ever has. There's been a couple things out there, but never like this. So the first one up is the firstborn son. And it's a little kid in an Indian costume that has an arrow through his head. And I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait for these. I cannot wait till they get to some of the other ones. I think these are I'm gonna leave it at that. 13 Ghost kits are coming. For those of you who like that movie, head on over. If you don't want to be a part of the Patreon, I know he sells kits. I have the rights to sell kits through his Patreon, so if you can always hit me up on those. But man, 13 Ghost kits are coming. That's all I'm gonna say. Leave the pictures here. Scott, I know you haven't seen the movie, or will you surprise me today?
Oh, you've got a lot of nerve after what we're gonna find out in a little bit.
All right.
All I'm gonna say.
So we're gonna try something new here on the show.
On the show? What are you, Shatner?
I'm gonna try and do a live scrolling on a website, and so this might go completely sideways. So, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, or maybe the one, I don't think you were there. We all started. A couple people started talking about Fotis Mint. He's a 3D sculptor. And Jamie said, and I'm mad at Jamie because he didn't tell me sooner. He basically felt bad about sculpting and making money off of all these these licensed characters that he didn't own the rights to. And so he put them all up for free. I want to just real quick. So this is over on Printables. Yeah, you can see it. And so printables.com/@FotisMint/models. I'll put the link down there. So he has put a lot of his licensed characters that he was selling originally for free. So if you did just get a 3D printer or you're planning on getting one and you really don't feel like spending a lot of money on some kits or some models, this is a great way to start because there are some amazing characters in here. And I just printed one, and I'll hold it up in a second just to see how they turned out. And it's beautiful. And he has a lot of Lord of the Rings, a lot of Marvel, DC stuff, and some game stuff, some Star Wars things. So there's a lot of things that you can try. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. And look, you have everything from Lilith from Diablo, Thanos, World of Warcraft, Rancors, stuff from Love, Death, Robots over on Netflix, Pennywise.
How do you scroll through his stuff? Because I'm only getting one page of stuff.
If you go public models, that's what it is. public models right here. So I'll walk everybody through it. You can't see it. Across the top where it says about public models, it's right next to exclusive.
Got it. Okay,
Public.
now I'm there.
All right, so everybody, we just figured something out. So to find all his free stuff, you go to public models right here. I know it's kind of hard to see on here because of the way I have the stuff, but public models. Again, Jank. That's Model Club TV. And it shows all the ones he's given away for free. He has V from Vendetta. Some of them are, I think all of them come pre-supported and unsupported. So if you want to just try and print the way he has them set up, you can. And when I found this, I was like, holy crap, look at all these great free things. And it's a great way to learn how to print, a great way to learn how to paint. You can print these at different sizes. They scale up really well. But he has something for everybody. So printables at Fotis Mint. I'm sure that's on Cults. I'm sure it's over on CD Trader. But printables is a great site for FDM stuff and for resin stuff. Check it out if you get a chance. Link will be down below. But there's a lot of really cool free stuff in there that you could do. Just simple bust to print.
Oh, the Walter White bust is nice.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you can tell some of his older things aren't as great, but some of the newer things are really, really good. So check it out. Fotis Mint over there. We'll have a link.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, he has a Freddy Krueger and a Jason Voorhees. Some classic horror. He's a Captain Spaulding. He has something in there for everyone. There's a really good Penguin from Batman Returns as well. Lots of cool stuff. So check it out. Let me just click on that so everybody can. I'll pull up the picture of this. That's it. I mean, that's pre-supported. Great stuff. Check it out. That's our first time trying that. I really think that worked okay. Wow. We're getting so like modern with our jank.
Yeah, we're modern.
Shut up. All right. Okay, up next, over on Patreon on CA3D. I also Patreon there. If you want to look through him, I can print and sell anything from there too. But he had some really great stuff again for Jason to come out this time, and it's my favorite Lord of the Rings character of all time. It's Gollum, and I printed that, and I printed it. He has it in 1/12, 1/6, and quarter scale, and there's a couple different versions of it. I did print it so that I basically 1/12 right in here. Okay. Comes with a simple base if you want it like this. But this is something I've wanted for a long time because I have a Gollum diorama idea, and this is the perfect size for what I want to do. So I printed a couple of those. Anyone wants one of those, $25.
How accurate is that?
And that's the thing. So it's a little stylized, and I like the stylized better than the real thing. Because again, I'm more of a comic Gollum fan or a cartoon Gollum fan and a book Gollum fan. And I think this there's a good style to this one that kind of fits. But it is the Lord of the Rings movie Gollum. This is the deluxe base this is the pieces for the deluxe base is like this. I don't have the bag here with me, I don't think.
His feet looks like your feet.
Do you love his feet? I knew you would.
No, nasty.
And also from CA3D, I have these available as well, $60. This Supergirl, and it's right here, and it turned out really, really good. One thing I would say about this that I wish was different is the head prints as one piece with the hair like this. Let me get that up in there. So it prints like this. I wish the head was separate so that you could print that in the hair in a different way, because I had to put holes in the hair down at the bottom a little bit and in the neck hole.
Those are easy to fix.
Oh, it's easy to fix. It absolutely is. But inside the hair, there's a little bit of sanding you got to do. But otherwise, turned out beautiful. I think the kit itself is beautiful. I saw Ground Affected, who's a painter on YouTube. He added a cape to it, like a little like see-through kind of like piece of fabric that made a cape for it. If you want a cape, so it and you just kind of tuck it by in the hair, and you don't need to really show how it attaches.
Show me the torso.
The torso. Which torso part? It's beautiful. Well, do you want
the upper part with the S on it?
Upper part with the S. It's barely doesn't stick off that far.
Okay, that's not
nice.
too bad.
It's engineered really, really well. Like things to go together really well.
Yeah, no, I just wanted, I see the raised S kind of a little bit, and it,
But here, wait.
it sends the raised S flag up.
I mean, there's very little putty work you're going to have to do. This is 3 parts. The top, the middle,
And see,
and the bottom.
if you're going to raise the S up in a Superman or whatever, no more than that.
Right. No, I think that's perfect. It's perfect. This is 4 parts. Look how that goes. I mean, it goes together like really well. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. If you go on to CA3D and you want anything from him, let me know. I got most. So this, I just got today. Tarna from Heavy Metal. Is it Tarna? Tarana? Tarna. So I know Mark Worthling loves this character. I could probably do a little bigger, a little smaller, but I love the size that it comes, which is just this one. It'll probably be available quarter 6 and 12 like they usually do. But I just got these files today. Great little piece as well from CA3D. And then this Superman, I think, is in the works for next month. You don't see a lot of Supermans like this in the suit with opening up his shirt. So I'm kind of excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah, that's not bad. We'll see how the S looks.
We'll see how the S is. And then next, also this one is this Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man and Venom playing basketball. I think this is from a piece of artwork. I'm not sure where this comes from, but this just came out too. So some really good stuff. If you're interested, let me know. I'll figure out what we're doing.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
This is not Spider-Man.
I knew you were going to say that.
Okay.
No, I agree. But it's my... Did you see Spider-Verse yet?
No, I tried watching the first one. I fell asleep.
I really like that. I didn't see the second one. So, okay. Ooh. Workbench! Scott, what have you done?
Nothing. I've really been in a funk. I haven't done anything.
Why have you been in a
behind
funk?
behind on these Godzillas. So if you're on the list for these, they're coming. I have the list. We talked about that. I did get something, however, though.
What'd you get?
And I could use the viewers' help on this because I can't remember certain aspects of this.
That's because you're 60 now?
No, it was a long time ago. So I want to say David Allen was an animator, and he did a stop motion commercial years ago, a Volkswagen commercial. He did a stop motion King Kong that looked a lot like the original. Okay. In the 90s, he sculpted this bust. Okay. Came pre-painted. All right. It's King Kong, so it was licensed. Turner, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's heavy. Okay. For years, I've been on the fence about buying this piece because it's not a perfect Kong likeness, but it's nice. Okay. And there was a guy in a King Kong group selling it, and the price was right, and I bought it. And I could, again, the price on this thing has soared to the point where I would never pay the eBay prices for it, but his price was good enough that I paid it. And I want to say Dark Horse put this thing out, but I'm not sure. Now, I talked to Rod Hickey, and he said no, because he was in pretty tight with those Dark Horse guys. I'm like, who put this out, and how much was it when it came out? I want to say it was $50 when it came out, maybe 95 the most, but I can't remember. So I'm just, believe it or not, the history guy needs a history lesson on this piece.
Help him out.
But I did pick this up, and I'm happy with it, and he's on the shelf.
Excellent. You build anything?
No.
Paint anything?
No.
Nothing. Okay. I did. I don't have a picture of it yet, but I did paint 2 Spectrum Man busts. and I'm still working on my Godzilla. I'm almost done with the Godzilla with the reflecting orange light underneath with the OSL. I'm almost done. Getting there. It's hard to see in this. I'll put up pictures when it's finished. Still working on a couple other things, but I've been all those creature busts took almost all my time and packing up that stuff and some other things. So, I do want workbench wise. I did get the other videos, some of those tools. Those videos are going to come out, but this just came in the mail, and I talked to these people at Adepticon. We're going to try and get them on the show, but I was waiting for the Kickstarter stuff to show up, so I had something to show besides the hobby holder. These just came in the mail. Game Envy. Scott, you know what this is?
Game Envy.
No, but you know what this is.
I would say it's a brush cleaner.
It is, but watch this. It is a travel brush clean, like water pot. And inside it has the little like silicone brush cleaner thing that says Game Envy on there. Goes in there, but you have this little like kind of pop-it water holder that you can pack up in a travel case and keep it with you, put it in your stuff, and paint on the road. So I got 2 of them. I'm going to put one in my bag, keep one somewhere else just in case something happens. But it's really nice. It's nicely made. Like, it feels really good. I don't think it's going to be leaking. I saw a lot of people using them over at Adepticon because some of them came out early. This was like the second run. So we're going to try and get these guys on and talk about some of their materials. They did also I also got a silicone brush rest, but I have some of those printed, but this came with it as well. So check them out, Game Envy. I'll put their links down below if you want some of these little travel water pots, and you can pick different colors. They're pretty good. So, all right. Next, our interview. David Horvath, the man, the legend, the big daddy.
Big daddy.
What else can we call him? A friend. I think we can call David
the high sperm count champion of the world.
So David's here. He's got a new venture he's got going on with his nostalgic Resin Productions. We talked to him a little bit about that, a little bit about Wonderfest, a lot about kind of the like plastic kits and companies and some really cool, fun stuff in here. We spent a long time waiting for Scott to try and fix his Doom, which got messed up, but here he is, David Horvath. We are back with David Horvath. David, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Happy to be here. My only regret is we didn't record the last 45 minutes. That was...
So Dave and I have been here sitting, waiting for Scott once again, because, you know, Scott had to mess around with settings and blew up his computer. So here we are.
It was lipstick.
Yes, it was lipstick.
Look good with lipstick.
Oh, man. How are you, sir? First, I want to say thank you. You have been so good to us, and thank you. I'm going to leave it at that. You've done some amazing things for us personally, some really cool gifts, a lot of really good stuff for the show, always participating, always there from almost from the beginning from what I remember. So thank you. And I'm glad to have you on as a guest finally and have other people get to meet you and see what a cool dude you actually are. So thank you.
This is the highlight of my career.
This is a career? Wow.
Everyone should know Dave is Big Daddy Dave H at the clubhouse, or is it just Big Daddy Dave?
Big Daddy Dave H.
Big Daddy Dave H.
And the Polar Lights board before that.
And the Polar Lights board before that. Are you still on, what was that one? Hobby Talk? You still got it?
Have not been on Hobby Talk for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
But,
what happened with Hobby Talk? Can we talk about it?
It just kind of, I don't know. Wasn't much going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, it pretty much died off after the creation of the clubhouse.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
After some things going on at Polar Lights, and then the Polar Lights board kind of just migrated over there. That's the whole reason the clubhouse got created.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. For people who are followers that have no idea what we're talking about, it's the clubhouse1.net. We'll put a link down below. It's a old-fashioned message board, just dealing with garage kits and movies and other stuff, but a garage kit message board that once Facebook came around, kind of everyone went to Facebook.
Right, yeah.
See, I thought it was when they banned me for life. Everyone went to Facebook.
You liked. It's always about Scott. You know. Once again,
But I got reinstated. I did get reinstated. The commissioner reinstated.
That's
true.
That's good to hear. Dave, where are you in the world? Where are you in the States?
I live in South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend.
The home of Round 2. So, the home of Polar Lights, Auto World. I drive right past their building every day on my way to work.
That's kind of cool. Have you ever gotten in there, like, to see what's going on, like tour-wise or anything?
I've been in the new building. I was more involved with the original company,
okay,
Tom Lowe, which was Flying Mantis.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did some freelance work for them. Born and raised in South Bend, moved down to IU Bloomington in Indiana, was down there for about 13 years, got married, and we decided to move back to South Bend. I was looking for a job. So I was job hunting. This was back in the mid-90s, and my dream job was always to work at a model company or a toy company that was producing model kits. That was my dream job. I did a little bit of guerrilla marketing of myself my senior year of college in '95. The parts store that I used to work at, I used to work at an import auto parts store in Bloomington, and we used to sell die-cast cars.
Okay.
So I talked my boss at the time into signing up to be a member of RICTA. So my senior year, I got a dealer pass for the show, showed up at RICTA, and went in on the dealer days to buy some stuff for the store, and also started handing out resumes.
Nice.
So I was there at the dealer days. I'm talking to like Dave Carlock at AMT, some other people at Lindbergh, Revell Monogram, and actually did a couple interviews on the spot with people, with the sales managers there. AMT was probably the best option I had going at that time, and they even invited me to come out to Dyersville, Iowa, out in the middle of nowhere. If you don't know, that's the town where they filmed Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Out in Iowa.
Cornfield.
Factory out there. Yeah, Ertl. Ertl was the parent company at the time. So they made the die-cast farm equipment, toys, and all that stuff. So they invited us to come out, bring your wife out, check the town out, and we can do a tour on Monday. So we get out there on a Saturday. Population was about 3,000 people. So it's a little town, middle of nowhere. Went out and did the Field of Dreams thing. Went and visited the Basilica, beautiful church. And then Sunday morning, we're eating breakfast at this little restaurant and grabbed the local newspaper. And there's this headline, Ertl to lay off 300 employees, and they're moving the plastic injection to their plant in Mexico, in Tijuana. The day I'm supposed to go in for this second follow-up with this guy.
Oh, no.
And we ended up calling the guy. I called the guy the next day. And, you're laying off a quarter of this town's population, right, of the adult population. I don't think this is going to be a good mix.
Yeah.
So I was devastated. Came back home. Ended up working at a textile mill as an employee, and then worked my way up to the production manager. And around that time, I was in a store somewhere, I can't remember now, and found a Polar Lights Bride of Frankenstein kit sitting on the shelf. I'm like, holy crap, I haven't seen one of these in the flesh ever. I was born in the 70s, but, I was a square box guy on Aurora. I was there when the glow kits were there, the monster scenes, and that's when I was way little.
Yeah.
I was building kits since I was 5. My father started building kits with me, and I actually sent you a picture.
Yep, I'll put it right here. Yeah.
That was my first communion.
Your
I
house?
got
this picture, I want to talk about this picture for a second. I think we had the exact same plastic window things that are in the background.
Yeah.
In my first house that I lived in, it looks so familiar. I was like, I know we had those things in there.
So I've been sniffing glue fumes for a long time.
Explains a lot. It does when if you know Dave, he's got a great sense of humor. So totally makes sense.
So
You
yeah,
said you were
that's
a senior in college in '95. How old are you?
Yep. I was born in '65.
Okay, you're born in
So
'60. So you're like 9 years older than me. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Wow.
Not
Ooh,
old enough
so
to
you're
do
almost
that.
60.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Scott's age. Oh man, I'm sorry.
I got 9 years till retirement. Not that I'm counting.
I'm 60 years and 1 day.
So
There you
yeah,
go.
his birthday was yesterday.
Happy
Talk
birthday, Scott.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Scott almost started drinking while we had the Zoom crash.
I almost got sober.
So cool. All right, so Flash, today, where are you? What you doing now? Like, I can point to the sticker.
Right now, I am a mid-level manager at Tire Rack, and I do a lot of the training for sales, customer service, and do a lot of follow-up with QC issues with our vendors. And I've been there for in my 23rd year.
Cool. Awesome. Congratulations.
The time I interviewed there, I was actually interviewing at Plain Manus.
Oh,
That was the job I was shooting for, and got to know Lisa Greco there from the bulletin board at Plain Manus when that first started up. I was one of the first people on there, and I found out about that through that Bride of Frankenstein kit. The info was on the box. I looked it up. I'm like, holy crap, this company's in South Bend. How weird is that? Hadn't heard of it before, and
Well, technically, wasn't it in Mishawaka?
it moved to Mishawaka after like 2002. So they had a building. I actually went to visit it there and toured. And the best part about that tour in the South Bend location, I got to meet their product manager for models, and it was Dave Metzner.
oh wow. Okay.
And Dave used to work at a small hobby shop, our local hobby shop, back in the 80s. So I knew him from when I was in high school.
That's awesome. Okay.
So, it was just a weird coincidence. I walk in, I'm like, I know this guy. So, anyway, I ended up getting a better job offer through Tire Rack, and have been very blessed there. It's been a great job.
Cool.
And as a result, I started doing, when Dave retired from Polar Lights the first time, they didn't have anybody that actually did build-ups for shows. So Lisa got me in touch with Gary that worked there at the time, and his replacement. And I started doing build-ups. A couple of us did from the bulletin board. So my big claim to fame, the Speed Racer kit, the glue version, they didn't have a build-up of that done yet. They had Dave Metzner's resin. It was a large size that they rotoscoped down. So they needed one for the Chicago show. So I took 2 days of vacation off at my job so I could get like these 5 car kits done for the show.
Have you ever gone to that iHobby Expo in Chicago? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a neat show.
It is kind of cool.
So the one on the box, that's actually my buildup.
That's
So
awesome.
I had a beef with that kit, just so you know.
Oh, here we go. Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Go ahead, Scott.
This was another idea I had, so someone will probably take it now.
Ah.
Okay. The engine was in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Okay, which is inaccurate.
That's
completely.
right.
Okay. So what I wanted to do is have Speed Racer with the engine open and a charred monkey and Spritle skeleton there. And then have like a Speed Racer going, oh, like, he stored them in the trunk and they burnt up. Because I was like, why did they put the engine in the back?
I don't know. Licensing. Like, after that, I did a bunch of stuff for them, and I had a non-compete at work, so I couldn't be on payroll. So I worked out a deal with Jerry Gustafson there that I would get paid with product. So for every kit I did, they give me a case of whatever I wanted. So that whole time, I'm like flipping stuff on eBay. Horse trading with Steve Iverson, for more expensive kits. It was a nice gig. And then the company got sold, and So
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with the new company, but I've been in there a couple times.
I'd like to know why I don't have a tire rack sticker.
I haven't given it to you yet. It's sitting right
I sent you one. There you go.
I have a stack of stuff I got to bring over to Scott, actually.
You are a fucking jag.
Oh, good stuff.
Oh, we're slap happy. All right. So what are you up to these days? What do you like your favorite subject matter when you buy model kits? What are you looking for? What kind of stuff do you like? You're a modeler, you're a builder, you're always building stuff. You're 3D printing, you're building kits. What do you like to build as a modeler? What do you like to do?
Science fiction and fantasy, and I've really started to gravitate towards pictures and bus.
Yeah.
I haven't done vehicles in quite a while, but I still have a whole collection. That's kind of how I masked my collection, is horse trading and selling stuff, so that was kind of self-funding when I was doing the freelance stuff.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, I've got probably, last count, I think I got about 400 kits in styrene and printed stuff.
Oh, he's giving Scott for a run for his money, I think.
Not nearly what Scott has. When my wife and I came over for the cookout, and Scott took her down without me.
Uh-oh. Whoa. I hope he behaved.
That was great, because he came back and goes, "Oh, I have no complaints about your hobby."
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were looking at Scott's rack of styrene stuff, and he goes, "Well, that looks about like your." And I said, "These are 2 and 3 deep. They're not 2 and 3 deep on the shelf."
At least you're looking at his rack of styrene and not just his rack, because
You have a nice rack.
You do have a nice rack, actually.
So's your mom. Anyway,
I knew it was coming. I set you up. I set it up.
And the timer was, how long was that?
I know. Yeah. Well, 10 minutes. Actually, I can tell you, it was 16 minutes and 3 seconds. It took Scott.
There you go.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I have nurses in our family, so the timer at dinner is who starts talking about bodily fluids and function.
Me too. That was my mom. She's a retired nurse. That was dinner every day. Horrible stuff. Yes.
Talking shop, like, he had this bed sore that was this big and pass the gravy, honey.
Every day. And all 3 of us would be like, "Mom, shut up. What are you doing? We're trying to eat." Every day. Oh my gosh. Scott, what were you going to ask?
I don't even know.
Wow. We got him silenced. That's a first.
This is going downhill.
Well, the one thing I want to touch on, you got a lot of flack for saying the garage kit industry is dying. And I've been thinking about that for quite a while. The whole model industry, as a whole. And I think it's not dying. I think we are entering into a new phase that's probably going to explode this hobby.
That's what I was trying to say.
I really believe that. And I sent you a picture. You put that picture up in here. If 1945, this was what you got when you bought a monogram model kit. It's a freaking block of balsa, a bunch of sheets of balsa and cardboard, and you pretty much had to carve the damn thing.
Yeah.
That was modeling back in the 1940s. And if you think about it, when, Hawk, Lindbergh, the early ones started doing injection products that were injection molded plastic in the late 50s, early 60s, look what happened to this hobby. It exploded. And now I think we are heading into a third phase with 3D printing. I don't think the garage kit industry is going to go away. I think that all these people like me who are all thumbs, they couldn't sculpt the damn thing to save his life, but enjoys modeling, I can go buy a print. I can go buy a STL file. I can hire somebody to make an STL file for something that I've always wanted, and I can print it at home. and I can sell those to other people, or I can sell the files. And I think that's going to explode. And we're going to see a lot of crossover with I think we're going to see a lot of crossover with the guys doing minis, because the same sites they're going to get these files for minis, they're also going to get, science fiction models. Look at CG Trader and some of these other sites. The styrene industry is still there. It's hanging on by the edge. AMT, MPC, round two. How many years did we go without having a new Star Wars kit? And now, how many do we have this year? They're being pulled along with this now.
Yeah.
They know they got to invest in tooling. They have to invest in new product.
You might be the best person to ask, actually. How many plastic model companies are left? Like, you got, who's left? Revell left? Because they got bought out by a German company, right? Or
yep.
who?
Revell is Revell Germany only.
Okay.
Limburg, that's part of round two now. Tom Lowe owns that. He owns MPC. He owns AMT. Limburg, and I know he has the old Hawk tooling as well.
Okay.
I mean, pretty much all that is consolidated into round two.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember when I started doing the one year that I did a model club at school, and I had gotten donations from people and bought a ton of kits and was doing a club after school with my students. And I was looking for the companies to try and get donations, because it's a bunch of poor kids. It's my neighborhood. And it was hard to kind of track down who owned what at that. Like, it was right around when I think Revell got bought by Revell Germany. Like, and then, oh my God, my brain just broke. Play Now had gotten some of the others. Is it Erdl? Who has Erdl?
I
think
that's Tommy.
Okay.
I think Tommy owns them now.
Okay, so it all kind of got, and at the same time, Testers was going away, kind of too, with their stuff. So there was this huge kind of and it's kind of interesting to see what's left of that kind of consolidation.
Right. Yeah, because Testers owned the tooling for Hawk, and they did reboxing for Hasegawa.
Okay.
And who was ESC? I can't think of the brand name now. The Italian.
And Rust-Oleum owns Testers.
Yeah.
Now, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So different.
So I have a question.
So different.
So Thomas Lowe owns round two.
Yep.
Thomas Lowe originally owned Polar Lights playing Mantis.
Yep.
But then he sold it.
He sold that to round two. They bought it. They bought the company. And then he went and worked for them for a couple of years as a VP as part of the contract. He shut everything down here in South Bend.
Okay.
And then,
I said Play Now. I meant round two. I was thinking Seinfeld. Play Now is this company George used to work at.
Mandalay.
Yeah. So,
no, that's his fake company. Play Now is the never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. So then they wanted to get out of they pretty much bought, my understanding is they bought them out because they wanted the Johnny Light, because they had Racing Champions, which was the big competitor. Mm-hmm. So they were buying out the competition. They just wanted the Johnny Lightning, because most of the business there was the Johnny Lightning little diecast card. And the Polar Lights thing, that was Tom's pet project. That was his love. He loved the old AMT kits. He kind of kept that going. That was my understanding that I got from the people working at the time. So won Racing Champions and the whole round two buyout, or not the whole round two, but the whole Racing Champions buyout. They pretty much killed off the Johnny Lightning cars and sold that off. And then they started really cutting back on investments in the styrene stuff, the model kit. And at that point, Tom left, and then he started buying everything back. Wow. It cut rate prices probably.
Yeah.
And started up round two, and then he bought the trademark for Auto World, which was like a major mail order catalog back in the 60s and 70s. So that's the Auto World. That's their retail store. And they actually opened up a small retail store here in Mishawaka, the neighboring city. And that ran for a couple of years while he was getting round two going.
What hobby store is left in South Bend, Mishawaka area?
We have a Hobby Town that's over in Granger, which is real close to here. That's pretty much it.
I went because we have a place in Michigan City, and there was a place. We have a place in Michigan City, and I went out to South Bend like a few years ago, and I found like a gaming store, like Games Workshop, miniatures, that kind of thing. That had a ton of paint and everything, but I can't for the life of me right now remember the name of it.
It's up in Roseland, which is just north of South Bend. Notre Dame's on the north end of town.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Right up on the north side of town.
Yeah, that was it. Because I remember we had to go. It was right on the border of Michigan, like right.
Yeah, my kids go up there for the D&D stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, because it's weird. Like even I was looking for hobby stores these days. Is just you don't find them. It's really hard to come across, and if you do, it's a lot of times RC or But is your Hobby Town good?
It's mostly RC. We opened up a second storefront that had more bottle stuff, but they really scaled that back.
See, ours got bigger, and they added like a huge model. Like they do have a huge model and paint section now at the one, and they're all independently owned. I used to manage a Hobby Town in college down in Normal, but they went a business. I think after I had graduated and left.
Yeah, great management.
It wasn't my fault. I was not the owner.
Nothing's your fault.
All right, go put some lipstick on, dude.
There you go.
No, don't, because it'll all crash again. Don't do that.
No.
Wait till Dave is done, then we'll play with the makeup effects. But so it was. He would kind of rely on me. Like he was just, I want to open a hobby store, and I think he was more into the RC stuff in planes and cars. And a lot of those guys that do that have no idea about some of the model stuff. So he was trying to hire guys that were like a model guy, a guy that was a train guy. So you kind of did that. And so he didn't know anything about garage kits back then. And I would kind of bring him in and show. I remember being able to order out of the computer the geometric stuff and get that put into the store, like the Star Trek stuff, the Guyver stuff, and some of the other things that were around then. But at our Hobby Town, it's mostly all plastic. There's no other stuff other than that. But
yeah, I remember my first Wonderfest was '99. I was still living in Bloomington at the time, and was on the bulletin board for Polar Lights, and everyone was going to meet down there. So 2-hour drive for me there.
Yeah.
And holy crap! I mean, we just went down for the day, thinking we're going to be there a couple hours.
And '99 was like at the height.
That's pinnacle.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, and I'm still kicking myself because we got down. We went on a Sunday, and I still remember. I think it was Action Hobbies had a Phantom of the Opera kit, and they were shutting down. This was like their last show, so they had 4 of this Phantom of the Opera where he's coming down dressed as the
Mask of the Red
Mask
Death.
of the Red Death. Yep.
Staircase. Sunday afternoon, they were selling those $40 a piece.
I have the same fucking regret. I didn't buy one that day. And I remember he was blowing them out. And I was like, nah, I'll find one. I have not gotten one. I've been wanting that kit since and have not bought it. Same regret. Oh my God. And I remember people walking out of there with like 2 and 3 of them. Like, oh, hey, we got our Mask of the Red Death.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and I didn't know to bring that much cash, so I didn't have enough cash with me to do it. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll see that again. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And he disappeared. I've never seen him again. Like, forgot it. His last name was like impossible to pronounce, but Perindagood or something like that. But it's
someone can leave it in the comments below. The correct pronunciation.
He was a nice guy. He was a good guy.
Man, I totally remember that. That's awesome.
So I came back the next year, brought the wife, and then for a few years we did like a family trip every year. We do the Kentucky Kingdom on Friday. I do the show on Saturday and Sunday. We did that for quite a few years. So I was kind of the guy lurking on the sidelines because I got kids in tow. So
every year there was another kid in the Horvath group.
So people who don't know, why do they call you Big Daddy, Dave?
Well,
That started on the Polar Lights board,
Okay.
and just to be funny, I picked the username Dupa Dave, which is Polish.
I was
for
Polish
butt.
for butt. My grandma used to. Yep. It's
So
time to
me and
wipe
that-
your dupa. I remember that.
Yes,
Yeah, I
so
imagine
we're like,
you got called that a
No.
lot.
yeah, they're like, you know what that means, right? I'm like, okay. So they actually had a contest on the Polar Lights board for me to pick a new name for me. So Russ Hooten picked Big Daddy Dave because at that time I had just had a newborn. My second daughter was born.
Okay.
Little did we know, I got 8 kids now. So I kind of grew into the name.
That's amazing.
But at Wonderfest, I'm the guy who was on the sidelines wishing I could play with the big kids because there's Ed Balkley holding court in the lounge, smoking cigars, mooning people, and I'm laughing my ass off, and my wife's like dragging me by my ear. Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
So
Little did she know what she'd walk into at my house. So
She's a good sport. Wow. Really good sport.
that was our anniversary getaway last year. Was coming to the cookout.
I'm
I'm
so
surprised
sorry.
there's not another kid in the way.
Oh man. But I again I want to say thank you for perpetuating propagating the species, propagating models out to kids, because I think you had one of the most inspiring pictures, and I can't put it up here because of YouTube rules, but you had a picture of everyone at your house, all the kids building models and working on stuff just like a work. Could you explain? Because I think this is something, and Dan Cherney sent an email a couple episodes back talking about what have we done to kind of get new people into this. And you're one of those people that has done it, and your kids are doing this sort of thing. So first of all, what do your kids think of you and all of this madness? How have you kept them or got them interested in some of this? And to see, I wish guys, everyone, girls, that you could see this picture. I'm pretty dead inside. And when I saw this, it was like one of the greatest things I ever said was just all these kids building and painting things. And it goes back to my job, but it's when you see them building models,
it's
it's
a
like
sweatshop. It's a Polar Lights round 2 sweatshop. Okay.
Here, kids, build this.
Build it. There'll be no food.
So how do you keep them interested in, do they think you're crazy? Are they happy you do this stuff? Just a quick synopsis of that.
They know I've been doing this since I was a little kid, and they're all my kids are artistic in some way. Most of them are graphic arts, computer arts, and I have cut their teeth on Ray Harryhausen movies and Universal films and bad cheesy movies, since they were young. And when we go to the shows, they love it. They just love seeing everything, and engaging with the people that are there. My oldest daughter Lucy, she was at one point thinking about going to art college.
And then you punched her and said, "Don't do that."
No, I didn't. I said,
would. As an art teacher, I would say.
It was like 2016. I showed up with her and my son Sam, my oldest two, and we went over. She was talking to Frank B.
Okay.
And Frank spent. I don't know how it was this slow. He spent over 40 minutes talking to my daughter.
Because nobody wants to talk to him. Okay, that's why. All right.
Yeah, talking about art colleges.
And I'm going to tell you something too. In about 10 years, you better keep her away from him. Okay. So
10 years.
But in a nutshell, he pretty much told her in today's day and age. This is him having been let go by Disney Studios when they shut down the Orlando studios for animation. He said, "Find yourself a solid day job and do this for the love of it."
That's my advice to all my kids.
That's what she's done.
Same.
And it worked well.
Yeah.
I got 2 high school seniors, Aaron and Grace, they're probably going to go into graphic arts, for college or junior college, whatever. And, they're already doing commission work for people online. They both have online graphic novels, comics that they're doing online.
That's great. That is so great to hear it.
But every other month we'll when we can round them all together, it's like herding feral cats. We get the kids together and we just do a model night. And we'll sit and watch a really crappy movie and just sit there and paint models. And that's kind of always been part of our family life. I've grabbed a couple guys from work. We've done model nights with guys from work, adult beverages included.
Do they suffer from that typical dad, you're an idiot, or do they really genuinely like think you're cool? Like deep down, you think they get it?
Why are you
like,
trying to set this guy up?
No, I'm just saying because I know I always thought my dad was a goof, but he is. But most kids just think their parents are weird. Or do you think deep down they're like, my dad's awesome, and one day, like, you know what I mean?
Why don't we march them in one by one, and they can?
We should ask them.
Hey, get down here. Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry if that went over the line. I don't know.
They've all been chloroformed already.
Okay, good. All right.
They're out.
Bedtime.
No,
bring me the next one. Yeah.
I see the artwork that they're doing and the things they're interested in. My daughter Grace is wanting to put some stuff together because we're going to have a booth at Wonderfest this year. We're going to have a table with my stuff and their stuff. They're going to do some artwork that they're going to have. Grace is wanting to put together some Edgar Allan Poe inspired stationery and prints. And, I look at the stuff that they're doing now, and there's no way I could do that. And they're only high school fresh or seniors. It's just crazy.
They must have picked it
I
up.
I think a simpler way to put my question is, how many times do they roll their eyes at you?
Oh, daily.
Okay, all right. Where they're like, oh, geez, shut up, Dad. Like, okay.
They get it. They like it.
That's great. We got to talk. Maybe you should. We got to figure out.
How many
tables.
of them are watching this show?
Oh, my two oldest, actually my three oldest, I know for sure watch. And are subscribers. So
they were upset that I wasn't there this year to meet me, and
Lucy was asking for you. So. She was like, Scott this year, and
oh man, whatever.
You met her the year before.
Yeah,
I haven't been told the year before. So,
oh man,
I'm bringing three more down, or two more down this year. So
cool.
He brings two and he makes one. He brings two and he makes one. He brings two.
That kind of brings us to why are you getting a table for yourself? What do you have to sell? What did you do?
I came back from Wonderfest like I do every year, totally stoked up and fired up. My daughter was totally stoked up and fired up. And I have always wanted to start producing a garage kit, but I've never been able to sculpt. I don't have that type of skill. My daughter, she's trying to learn how to do 3D sculpting, but I figured that was going to be years down the road. And I was on a Facebook group that I joined because I got a 3D printer a year ago, a little over a year and a half ago. Started printing crap like crazy. That's more than paid for itself. And one of these groups had a guy posting for commission work for doing files. And he had this really, it wasn't great. It wasn't spectacular. But it was a pretty darn good likeness of, Magnum PI. Tom Selleck.
That's cool. Yeah. All right.
And I'm like, interesting. And then I start reading the comments and what he's charging for this. And he's overseas. And I figure, well, let's give this guy a shot. And he was charging $25 to sculpt just the head. And if you wanted a bust, it was $15 more US. So I start messaging the guy. I'm like, hey, how does this work? And he's messaging me back and saying, well, I can work up a file, send me some reference photos of what you want. I can work up a file. I'll send you some pictures of the file rendering. If you like it, you pay me for it, PayPal, friends and family, and I'll send you a Google Docs link so you can download the file. I'm like, what the hell? I figured, I've always wanted to sculpt with Captain Kangaroo. Oh, that is like a very personal thing for me. Because when I grew up, not to get too personal here, but We had a very dysfunctional family when I was growing up as a kid. My dad was physically, mentally abusive. Mom was very passive and wasn't the greatest time. And during that time period in the late 60s, early 70s, every morning after Dad went to work or school, I had this guy on TV who was kind, he was gentle, he was loving, he was positive, he was everything you always want in a dad.
Yeah.
Like a surrogate father, Captain Kangaroo, Bill Keeshan. And that was my first male role model, positive male role model. And I always thought I would love to have a sculpt of him. And so I shot this guy some pictures. And the guy's in Vietnam. He's Kwai. I can't pronounce his last name. Link his Facebook on because he's looking for commissions, and I want to get this guy some.
Okay,
work.
we will.
That's great. I shoot him pictures, and he sends me back a rough draft within like 24 hours of a bust. Within 24 hours, and I'm like, in a 12-hour time change, when the hell is this guy sleeping? You know. So he sends this thing back, and it was rough. It was okay. So at this point, I'm like 40 or $25 into it for the head. So I messaged him back, and I said, let's go ahead and do a bust, but can you tweak this and this and this, and I'll pay you, $60 for it. He's like, oh, okay. He's all excited. Within a day, he comes back with another full bust with the changes made in the face, and it was like freaking spot on the likeness, and I'm just blown away. And so I mailed him back. Well, I paid him, and I says, if I give you another $60, so now we're up to 120. Can you add these other characters onto the base and a nameplate for me? So I sent him all these pictures, and within a week he had the thing done. And at that point, I'm like, I'm going to start printing these and selling these. This is God saying, hey, this is the time.
Yeah.
You got a printer, do it. And I decided I'm going to start doing prints and selling them, and worked up a contract with this guy. And because I had talked to, I'm not going to name names, but I've talked to 3 other sculptors domestically before this point, over the past 2 years. Because this has always been in the back of my head. I want to start doing.
Yeah.
I'm retiring in 9 years. I want something that I can do to keep my brain from,
right. Yes.
Something to supplement my income as I get older when I retire. But just something.
Yeah, like that's going to happen with 8 kids.
So yeah. So I worked out an agreement with this guy that I'm going to pay him. Well, I'm going to mention numbers. I don't care.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, you don't have to say. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm paying him probably 4 times what he was asking.
Okay.
Plus 20% of everything I sell. Because, he's a young guy. He's in his 20s. He's married. He's got a young kid. He's living in not third world country, but darn close.
Yeah.
And that's what I would pay somebody here domestically to do.
Yeah.
And he's willing to work on a commission basis for the percentage. And I'm like, win-win.
I'm glad you took the chance. And the cool thing about it is you basically bought a garage kit that you've always wanted and just had it made. Right? Like
what I would have paid.
What you would have paid for a kit in the first place, you got what you wanted, which is kind of cool. Scott, go ahead. Sorry.
So let me ask you this, because we were on Discord Saturday and neither of you guys were there. We got into this.
We're smart.
Oh my God, it went crazy. And
wait, who are you? What happened?
So it was a Discord conversation that just kind of blew up.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm going to ask Dave now. When you look at that Captain Kangaroo and you print them and you sell them, you consider that a garage kit?
Oh, I heard about it.
Or do you consider it a figure bust or a 3D print? Or, what do you really consider it? Because, and the reason I'm asking,
traditionally a garage kit is cast in resin.
Right. And It's given the name garage because a lot of people did it in their garages,
Right.
but it's a traditionally molded and cast piece.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of garage kit producers are having a hard time saying that a 3D printed piece is a garage kit. Now they'll go so far as to say a 3D printed piece that is molded and cast and then cast and molded and then cast in resin, you can still call that a garage kit, but can you call a 3D print a garage kit? So this was the discussion we had, and we were giving Paul a hard time, really, and he was like, "Oh my God, you guys are all against me," because we were just giving him a hard time just because. But it was it was a fun discussion, and I kept trying to interject. To me, it's another branch of figure model, okay, and ultimately garage kits are figure models, okay, or busts. I guess busts would still be figure models, So to me, 3D printed kits are also figure models. But to get so hung up on the word garage kit now, which you're going to see, it's just weird for me. So I was just wondering your opinion. Do you consider 3D stuff now garage kits or figure kits? How does this fit into the traditional garage kit hobby?
My take on it, and that kind of gets back to what I was talking about with that balsa monogram kit. This is just another method of producing the kit. It's still not a commercially produced kit by a major company.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's produced independently by somebody like me, usually unlicensed, and being sold on the internet. So to me, I think that's where the garage kit industry is headed. A lot of people are like, oh God, no, that's not the same thing. I think look at last year's Wonderfest and the year before. How many items, how many figures, how many parts of garage kits are having to be printed? Because you can print stuff you can't cast. And that's why I'm saying, I think that's where this hobby's headed, and I think it's going to explode and become even more popular.
I 3D printed a part for Jeff Yeager for a kit he's doing. And he was just so grateful to have it because he's like, I would have spent hours sculpting this. Okay. Where now he can just take it. And I sent him like 4 of them. So if he had to cut it up and, because the resin is more brittle, even if he screwed one up, if he had to cut it up into pieces, he could and incorporate it into the piece he's sculpting. But that's coming. And the Stan Arts people are incorporating 3D with traditional with their Tauntaun and the lab and everything. So it's going to work its way in. It's just a question of how much, and to what, and a lot of people say, well, you don't get, the same like you do out of clay. And I'm okay with it because there's a part of that to me is true. Okay. But there's also a part of me that says you're not looking in the right places because there is beautiful stuff out there. Okay. And there's crap out there, but there's beautiful stuff out there too. And and that's why we just did this video on 3D printing, just because a lot of people are asking us for that. I know when you got into it, I think you asked us a zillion questions going in. Okay. And a couple other people have. And I'd like to think we inspired a few guys to buy 3D printers. Okay. But we're by no means saying the garage kits and traditional. This is, I think, where Jason got misunderstood is
because everything I said is kind of what Dave was saying, what I'm saying too. But my question is then to what your discussion was over the weekend. Is garage kit an idea or is it a thing? Because Dave just kind of said it. Garage kits were always like the punk rockers of model kits. We're on our own. We're doing things on license. We're out here in our garage doing this because we can't find it anywhere else. We're making our own things. Or does garage kit have to be? And it's a great conversation, I think, to have. It's an interesting conversation. Or does it have to be sculpted, cast? It can't be anything else. Whereas Dave did it. He got his thing he wanted. He made it independently. He's not a big company. He's doing it on his own. It fits that garage kit thing, but just because he 3D printed it and sold it that way, you can't call it a garage kit. I get the argument both ways. I get it.
Yeah.
And I get there's also some, and here I'll get in trouble. There's some jealousy probably, or some worry that that's going to make the other thing go away. And that's what I was kind of talking about, is that eventually is going to go away, or it's just going to mix together so much that you won't be able to tell the two apart. And I think that's what Dave is saying.
Well, and
And it, for someone like me that I don't have a lot of time to sit there and mess with making a mold, because I've done resin casting before. I've done a couple of projects on my own for family members, doing the silicone molds and degassing and all that. I don't have time for that. What I do have time for is I can spend 40 minutes when I get home from work, while dinner's getting ready and the kids are crazy upstairs. I can come downstairs, I can take a print off the plate, clean it off, throw it in the wash, do a rinse, let it dry out. Next night, I can throw that thing in my curing booth, and done.
Yeah.
And I don't invest the whole. I'm cheap as hell. I'm an absolute cheapskate because I got too many kids.
For people, I'll put the pictures up, but I'm holding it here. This is the kit he's been talking about. Is his Captain Kangaroo, and I'll throw that another big picture up. But man, it is so nice. So nice.
And so what scale is that? You're printing those in quarter scale?
It's a little smaller, right? Like,
I think it's like fifth scale.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little closer to fifth.
About fifth scale.
But have you been tempted to print one bigger just to see? Hey,
I did on the original version. I did one that was a little bit bigger without. This is with the original base that it had, and this thing barely fit on the Saturn print.
Oh, well, see, you need a Jupiter then. So
tell my wife that.
Well, see, she can come next time you come out this way.
Yeah.
She come to the basement now and see the Jupiter and the two Saturns. Okay.
You had your Jupiter at that point, and she looked at it.
Yeah, but only one Saturn. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, "That's huge." I'm like, "I know."
I have a quick question. What resin are you using?
I'm using the Sunlu, and I'm using the plant-based.
Really?
Yeah. I have exclusively used plant-based the whole time I've been printing.
Really? Okay.
I love it. You can compost it.
Huh.
It's soy-based. And
Jason will eat it.
Yeah.
Jamie yells at me for eating garbage all the time. I got yelled at for picking something off the floor or something the other day. I don't know. But.
Like it was last year. I did that Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
That was the one I did. And that whole thing, there's no metal supports in those legs on that. That was all supported by those spindly, and it was all
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed. I'm gonna have to give a bottle of that a try.
Yeah, I love it. The odor, there's like hardly any odor to it.
Yeah.
But
so I don't want to take any credit, but are we the ones that steered you into this 3D printing thing? I mean,
of course you were. I started watching you guys during COVID, during the early shows, and then I started catching up. And my son Samuel, he lives up in Detroit. He has like 3 filament printers. So he's been doing this for a couple of years, and he kept telling me and my wife, "You guys got to get a 3D printer." And I've always been interested. And then I saw you guys using the resin printers, and I started looking into those, and thought, "Wow, that's really cool as hell." And our company got bought out about 2 years ago, like right around the same time, and everyone that was with the company got a bonus from the owners during the sale. So I got a really, really nice bonus. And I told my wife, I've been there 20 plus years. I'm going to buy myself something nice with part of this bonus. So I went out and bought a Saturn.
Nice.
After researching all this stuff. And then I would say, if you compare what I would spend at Wonderfest or at another show on figures versus what I paid for the printer, that thing paid for itself within 6 months.
Yeah.
With the amount of stuff I printed off for myself, for friends, for family members, it more than paid for itself.
Yeah.
And I went out. I just bought I bought a Saturn 8K. They had them on sale.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm gonna have two. So if I'm gonna start doing these, I can print back to back here.
Yeah.
But this may shock a lot of people that are into 3D resin printing. I don't have a cure station. I don't have a wash station. I mean, my wash station, I got a plastic bowl that I use for the pre-wash, and then I have one of those big Rubbermaid jugs that just about everything that fits on my print bed will fit in there. Load that thing up and put the lid on, and I just agitate it for about 3 minutes. That's
Works.
my wash station.
And that's the thing. That's the cool thing about it. It can be done on the cheap. What do you use for? How do you cure your pieces? What do you do?
My cure station. Actually, when we walk over there.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You can edit this out.
No, we're leaving it because it'll give people more.
Because inevitably you'll knock something down. It'll be awesome. Yeah.
All right, so that's my print station there, and this is just made out of 2x2 with 1/4-inch plywood. I mean, it's nothing fancy. And then my cure station is just this, Facebook Marketplace cabinet I bought for $30, and I have it's like a $20 UV floodlight.
Okay.
That I found on Amazon.
So I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
That is probably actually better. And I think it's similar to what Jamie Sy does. That light is probably stronger than what the Anycubic thing is. So I almost want to do that.
And I just, the whole thing is just lined with foil. And then I got a little, $20 turntable I got on Amazon. I got less than probably $100 in this whole thing.
There you go.
And it doubles as storage.
Yeah. That's important. That's super important.
For my wash station, I just use my spray booth. But that's my wash.
Yeah.
Right there.
No, that's great to see. That is really good to see because again, it's what works for you. And that's what I think the cool part of this hobby is. If it works for you, it works. And you can do it any way you need to. Yeah. That's great.
And I use those little chip brushes too when I'm washing because you can get down in the hills to get all that out. And I bought one of the little dental UV lights that Scott's always showing.
Yeah.
To show it up so you don't have stuff running out your rear end like Scott. And
I've tried to cure it, but it's not.
His poor O-ring. His poor O-ring.
Just that UV light right up there.
I want to know how many people Lois went and told that story to after she got home and said, "This guy." Okay.
Lois was very apprehensive to come to this cookout last year because she was like, "I don't know these people. I don't know what's going on." She hadn't watched the show. I have not seen my wife laugh that much and have that good of a time. The wife, girlfriends, they all hit it off immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Lois laugh that much the entire time I've been married. She's married to me. I mean,
you're a funny guy. Everybody, please go follow Dave Horvath on Facebook because he's got the best memes. He's got the best memes.
You'd think too, 8 kids. She's seen you naked enough. She'd have enough laughs. Okay, but no. Okay.
Oh man, his kids watch this, Scott.
Well, I'm glad she had a good time though. I'm glad she had a good time. And
so you just did. You had another announcement about Wonderfest. I think you wanted to say.
Oh yeah. So we got a table. And I'm already working with my sculptor on a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to have some refrigerator magnet size stuff, some other stuff. My kids are going to be doing some artwork that they're going to be selling. And I actually got the last suite they had available for room. So I'm going to make that available to anybody from the Model Club TV family. If you guys want to come up on Friday, Saturday night.
That's my
we used to do this during the Polar Lights days.
Where are you locking your kids up at while we're all there? Because nothing is safe around.
We just chloroform them again. It's all right. They get you. Yeah. Have some Benadryl. Have some chloroform.
Only the 18 and older kids are going to be there.
Okay. So. Jason will be sneaking them Jamesons. Here, your dad won't see.
Shut up.
So we'll be probably showing bad movies, and I'm going to try and get some of the old Polar Lights, Bulletin Board people, and Clubhouse people in there too. Yeah, the one thing I've noticed because I didn't come back to Wonderfest for about a 10-year stretch there when we had kids. Yeah, we came back in 2016, and then like 3 years ago, I started coming regularly again. And I've noticed that and it's not their fault, but the way the hotel has been reorganized since the 90s, they eliminated that whole covered area next to the pool, put the workout room in there. The second dealer room is in there now. That used to be all open if you weren't back in the day.
That was the good place to be.
Everybody would congregate down there after hours, and they would do the iron modeler right next to the pool. I mean, like right next to the pool, and people would be sitting there in lawn chairs heckling and drinking.
So I don't know if you saw, but there's a plant. Part of their construction is they're going to be changing the bar again and redoing a lot of the hotel. So it'll be interesting to see if they do open that up more to the way it used to be to have a big area for people. But I don't know if it'll be done next year or not, but I did see like a map of what they're planning on doing.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of, maybe it'll go back to the way it was, but dude, the fact that you're getting a suite, that's awesome. I will be there for sure. And I'll help you out with that too, maybe.
BYOB. So
yeah, I'll bring you some booze. So
not a problem for him.
I'll bring some apple pie. I'll make a batch of apple pie and bring that down.
What's the best way to get a hold of you for anything people want to pick up a Captain Kangaroo? Or do you want to give any hints at the kits that are coming, or do you want to leave that under wraps for now?
Why not?
Okay.
The next thing I've got coming up, hopefully by next month, is going to be Carl Kolchak, Night Stalker.
Very cool.
It's a pose I haven't seen. I realize there have been a lot of garage kits of that.
Wait, you know what? You haven't even said the name of your company yet. Of what?
Oh, Nostalgic Resin Productions.
Awesome. Okay.
And out of the 4 or 5 that I know of, everyone, the likeness hasn't quite been there. The ones that are close, looks like he's taking a dump. You know. So I'm
3D printed toilet, stick them on there.
Wow.
I told Corey, my sculptor, I says, this character is going to be really hard to get the likeness because he has a unique face. And I says, I want to do one where he's smiling because I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Where he is doing finishing touches on it. I should have that done. So he should have that ready for me hopefully by the end of the month, and then I'll start cleaning stuff up and hopefully printing by next month, and I'll start posting that. We do have a Facebook group for that.
All the links will be there. Yep. Okay.
And after
will this be a bust or a figure?
It's going to be a full figure.
Okay.
It's from the werewolf episode at the very end, where he's sitting on the suitcases, recording his final closing thoughts of the show. So that's what we're doing for that one. And then hopefully by December, if everything goes to plan and I get enough cash flow going, I want to do George and Mary from It's a Wonderful Life.
So I got movie shamed the other day.
In a peculiar situation.
So yeah, I found a photo that I have not seen before, like a still from that movie and from that scene, and I'm thinking this would make a really neat dual figure kit. And hopefully I'll have that ready by Christmas time or before around December.
Yeah, and I would like to further shame Jason in the fact that he's never seen the movie. Okay.
It's a Wonderful Life. I have only seen like 10 seconds of it.
This is Jamie's homework, is to sit you down with a
I don't think Jamie's ever seen it. Hang on. Jamie, have you seen It's a Wonderful Life? Oh, she has seen it. She says she loves it. Okay. All right. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's a great movie. One of my favorites.
Now she just screamed down, I have to watch it at Christmas. Oh,
hey,
God.
Now she's going to scream down in the opening voice going, "Will you stop bothering me? My stories are on." Okay.
She is probably watching LMN. Okay. I think she's gone.
I kicked her out?
No, I still hear her creaking around.
Well, I want to thank Dave too for all his support. The few gifts that I've gotten, some good,
He
some
said
not
few,
so
not
good.
all.
And
See, Scott knows how to dig you, stab you in the side while smiling at you.
what?
Well, the one
You
I
said,
have,
repeat yourself, Dave, because I don't even think Scott heard what you said.
he said some, not all.
Well, I got a foot with lint in it, for God's sake. Okay.
Can you hold that up for people? New listeners, viewers might not have ever seen the foot that
What
Dave.
makes you think I even have this thing nearby?
Oh, you do. I know you do.
This
You
should be
appreciate it. And it's got lint
Now,
in the
notice
toe.
the toe jam if you
got
can.
Other side.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
All right.
And for people who don't know, Scott has a crazy aversion to feet, which makes
Not to mention, I hate to see the rest of whose ever foot this is. Okay. Okay. But then, Dave sent me this, and modeled it after my pup I lost 2 years ago almost now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have that sitting. That's a little more visible than the foot, Dave. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, man, this hobby, you meet some really great people, and Dave, you are one of them. And we want to thank you for everything so far. This has been
right back at you guys.
Yeah.
You got us through COVID.
Cool.
You got us through COVID, and that
So far, who knows what's coming? We'll see.
You know, my stepson just got it for the second time. So
I think So, Dave, thank you for joining us. This has been amazing. Any last contact info? Best place to find you? You have just lay it all out there.
Yeah. Best is my email, BigDaddyDave81965 at protonmail.com. That's
cool.
my best contact info.
Excellent. And the Facebook group again?
It's Nostalgic Resin Creations.
Cool. Seriously, have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for putting up with Scott screwing up the Zoom meeting for 45 minutes. We appreciate it.
It gave me a chance to sober up a little bit, so that's good.
wow.
Well, we love you guys. Thank you for all that you guys do.
You're welcome. And
my love for the hobby, and I know there's a lot of people I've turned on to your podcast that think you guys are hilarious. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone out there is having fertility issues, I think Dave will donate sperm for a small fee. And why not? Yeah, Brian Clark sells plasma. Okay. let's sell out bodily fluids.
I love getting spam at work. You get the mail enhancement spam emails. I just respond back with a family photo,
Yeah.
I wonder what fluid I could donate.
Well, it ain't brain fluid, I'll tell you that.
Okay. With that, thanks, Dave. We'll see you later, man.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
How'd you think it went? We're back. What'd you think?
Dave's a great guy.
Great dude.
He's been a great supporter of the show. And I hope he's feeling well.
Yeah,
And another one we've converted to the evil of 3D printing.
Yep. I'm really happy I met Dave. He's a really good dude, and I think the world needs more good, normal people, and he's one of them. I wish I was, but I will learn to be a better human through David Horvath, I think. So thank you for joining us. Again, all his links, Nostalgic Resin Productions, other stuff, all that's going to be down below. Hit him up. Some great stuff. And I am going to be still doing a What's in the Box with the Captain Kangaroo kit. Just kind of fell off the track here. So thanks, Dave, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It barely made last episode. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Emails, voicemails, and corrections. Scott, do we have any corrections?
Yeah, if you don't like the word boomer when it's not being used derogatory, tough shit. Okay.
All right. That works. That works.
You know what? And you're usually the hardcore guy, but that was so stupid.
Wait a minute. I'm usually the hardcore guy. What is that?
You know what it means. You know what it means.
All right.
All right, voicemails. We're gonna play them.
All right, we're gonna do our first voicemail, which is we don't know who sent this, but we appreciate this voicemail. We have the phone number of the person that sent it, but please leave a comment. Let us know who you are so we can thank you next episode. We appreciate the support here. So I'm going to play it. Here we go.
Hey, model clubbers, this is going out to you. I noticed that we have over 1,000 subscribers on our favorite YouTube channel here. But when I go through and look at the number of likes that these videos get, a lot of them are under 100. How about smash that like button, get this out there a little bit more, and we'll see if we can make some trending videos here for the time and effort that Jason and Scott put into these episodes every couple of weeks. Thanks, guys, and we appreciate it. Thanks.
Awesome. First of all, you're welcome. I put a lot of effort into this show.
Whoa. Whoa.
Scott's effort consists of showing up 10 minutes before and then being the talent, which hey, the massive talent that it takes to, like, I get it. No, without Scott, this show would be nothing. So I get it. Thank you. Yes, please. Our likes, we don't get a lot of likes. So if you are there, please hit that like button. It helps a little bit here and there, but that was very kind of you to do that. Cause I feel weird asking for that all the time, and I'm pretty sure Scott does too. So it's just weird that people even watch this still, and we have 1,040 now, I think, or 30. I don't know, whatever it is. It still feels weird to me. Anyway, thank you, Scott. Comment.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate the comment. Like he says, hit that like button. There's 700 views on just the video on the 3D printing stuff. There's like 30 likes.
Well, maybe they hate it. Like, maybe they were all boomers mad at us.
More mad boomers.
Yeah, I should go look at the dislikes. Maybe it's 650
mad boomers, but yeah.
But awesome. Thank you. Well, Scott, we asked for it. He's back.
Oh boy.
Get out your Ouija boards, everybody. Here we go.
Boo! It's me, John Touchy from the grave. You want to interview me? Bullshit. I'm not here to boost your ratings. I am here to make sure the hobby doesn't suffer from the blab fest I call model flub. With my death comes unbridled truth. I was rummaging around the Scott's garage late last night, and let me tell you, I have never seen such an uninspiring pile of resin and plastic. Scott, why is it that not one of those kits has ever seen primer, much less a coat of paint? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys do host a podcast about model kits, right? So when the hell is building and painting going to take place? I mean, come on. Eventually, you might have modeling on your modeling club, right? Oh, and let's not forget, fuck Jason Walker too.
So, Scott, when you're in your garage, do you ever feel a cold chill, a breeze that you can't explain?
No.
Yeah, he said he was rummaging around your garage. Like,
well, I know, but you should realize it's all in my basement. So our caller is not researching well. Okay. That's okay.
Wait, no, there is some stuff in your garage model kit wise.
That's not mine though.
Yeah, it's not yours. So maybe that uninspiring, that's not Scott's kits in the garage.
Yeah.
Those are someone else's.
Take that, John.
Take that. John,
we love hearing from you, John.
Yeah, we do. I trust me. I do.
We don't even have to do a seance and John comes and
we need to get.
I don't know what you did to John, but
yeah, dude, I don't know. Oh, I know what I did. I remember. I think you could probably go see those Clubhouse posts somewhere. If you Google Nerve 31 on the Clubhouse and John Tucky or whatever, there were some arguments that were.
Don't Google me and John.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Emails. This one goes out to our Grail mail from last week. And I just want to say this came from Kurt. And Kurt Kraus. and I'm going to leave one name out so that no one gets pestered right now. Ray LeGrant was looking for 2 Saturn Limited, LTD, whatever we decided on. I don't remember. Outer Limits kits. Phil had both of those and another built and painted. Not sure when, but eventually they will be a way to get those kits, I think. There was with some of Phil's collection going up for sale. So keep an eye out for that. We'll let you know when it happens, probably, if there's a way to get some of that stuff. But he does have a lot of rare stuff, a lot of built-in painted things. Scott probably knows a little more than what the email says, and I don't know if you're allowed to say anything, but just keep an eye out. There may be a sale happening.
Yeah, keep an eye out, and I'll forward that email to the proper person that's helping out with that.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah, we don't want that person bombed with... Oh, yeah. Not bombed because I don't want to get attacked with... No, pestered. Let's do that. All right. We have a couple from... we have one from Mike Ziamba and one from Mike Zizik. I got it right this time, I think. All right, there we go. From Mike DZ. Hello, Jason and Scott. While I don't have a 3D resin printer, at your suggestion, I did purchase some UV resin to fill some of the gaps in my 3D printed resin kits. Works really well. I also purchased some clear UV resin, which I saw someone using to make drool and drips on models. It works great for that. My question to both of you, can one use the UV resin to fill gaps on a styrene kit? I have tried it on 1 or 2 kits, but as long as I build up the gaps slowly, it seems to work. I wanted to know if anyone is doing this with their styrene kits. I don't know. I'd like to try that, actually. I know I've used it to fill the layer lines on 3D printed plastic filament and then sand it, and it works fine. So I don't see why it wouldn't work on a plastic kit. Just make sure you cure it right, and it should be okay. I can't think of something that would go wrong. Like, I don't think it's going to melt the plastic. It does get hot when it cures. That's the only thing I can think of, is if it got too hot, it could melt detail, but I don't think it gets hot enough to do that.
And real quick, I'll mention too, when you're buying 3D prints or you're doing something like that, please be aware that what cures the resin is UV light. So,
yeah,
you don't want to set shit out in your window that's got direct sun for weeks and weeks and weeks, because what happens is that resin's going to keep curing until you primer it, seal it, and there are actual UV resistant sealers that
yeah, you can. There are some clear yes.
So clear coat UV sealers. So,
I even went it's almost like I got a lab down here. I painted my windows in my basement black, well, two of them. And one I got something over so that light can't get in here at all.
Yeah. Well, now see, I set things like on my desk, but my blinds are
I have some stuff here, but no light gets in here at all.
And so nothing's happened yet to anything, but it's not sitting in direct sunlight.
Right. You got to keep it out of there. Okay. Continuing. One of the good things about the show is the introduction to new kits and products. I've already purchased all of the Dirty Down products. Well, thank you. Products along with the Green Stuff UV putty. I still need to get some of that. I have not used it yet, but I have the same question as above. Do you think it will work with styrene kits? Our same answer as to above, probably. I typically use AVs to fill gaps, but it takes quite a bit of time for it to harden. That's what I liked about it too, is if you need something fast, that UV resin with the light, boom, done. You're not waiting 3 or 4 hours to have to sand, or even longer overnight. The Dirty Down, if anyone's interested in the Dirty Down, link for that will be down below, goblinshut.com. Promo code MCTV, all caps, will get you some money off that stuff, and check them out. There's a new video coming for the Dirty Down stuff. The interviews with the guests are always enjoyable, and I try to support them whenever possible. I did purchase one of the Edgar kits that was offered. We sold one at least. I think it was a steal at $80, which included shipping. Keep up the good work and promoting the hobby. Regards, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I got to get a hold of Dan and check to see how many Edgars he did sell, because I wanted to buy one and it totally slipped my mind. All right. From Mike Zizik. Yeah, me again. All of a sudden, I feel like a stalker monopolizing your time. Anyway, awesome new episode. I have, of course, some more unsolicited comments. Well, we do solicit them, actually, when we say, please email the show. And suggestion. Number 1, that What's in the Bin segment was awesome. To see some of those kits and bases in person must have been incredible. I had no idea those David Fisher bases were so large and detailed. Now I'm pissed that I never got one. I knew Scott had some treasures, but wow. Thank you for showing them to us. Now it's time for you to show off some of your collection. Yeah, maybe I should. I don't want people to know what I got, because then they try to murder you. Number 2, I'm attaching a pic of that sideshow print that you could send away for in 1996.
Man, I should have sent away for that.
I know. Here it is. Let me get the web window. There we go. This is the print you get. I'm attaching the pic of the sideshow print that you could send away for in 1996. It was at my school office for about 20 years before I retired. I'm glad I kept it. I have that kit, and I'm not sure I will ever attempt to build because of the warping, but it is a beauty. Dan Platt did a fantastic job. I'm sorry he quit sculpting, or I assume he did. He kind of moved on, I think, onto special effects work and stuff. So here's the print. Dude, that is a good print. You should have got that. Going back to this. I have a suggestion for a short segment. What is this good for? ? I have needle caps from my diabetes meds that have a cool shape. I have no idea what to do with them, but I'm sure they could be used somewhere in model building. I just don't know what or where. Any suggestions? Maybe there is a good place to ask that question. My first thought, let me pull those up too. My first thought would be some sort of, and I don't think you are, but if you're like a war gamer, and you need some sort of terrain and you're building buildings that have machine parts and towers and things, you could stick them on there, primer them on. You have like buildings. They could be power conductors or power converters coming out of the ground. More diorama kind of stuff for miniatures.
Yeah, you could hook round conduit to the smaller ones, maybe like coming out of machinery.
Yeah.
There's a lot. You
Or
can
wrap
do.
them with wires too to make them look like.
Save stuff like that all the
You
time.
have the Tropicana orange caps that you use.
I have the Tropicana orange caps that someone was actually casting and selling on eBay. I still can't believe that.
All right, number 4. I don't know if cursing will get you demonetized on YouTube or not, but I know some channels beep out the offending words. I know that would add a lot of time to your editing, but perhaps that is an option as the views go up. Good thing I don't host a podcast because it would be a constant beep. Yeah, I thought about that. I have beeped out stuff before, but the way Scott swears, it's just too much added time. I'll rather just get demonetized.
Make me swear.
5. Are you able to select the type of advertising that goes into the videos now? If so, can you select art supplies, or is it all auto-generated by YouTube? So this is one of those things I'm finding out. I don't think I get to pick. I have not found a way to do that yet. I have finally figured out how to delete videos from inside the show, so I can lessen or make them more and put them in and move them around. So as we figure this out, there will be less, I think, commercials during the show. So yeah, I don't know. I think it bases on, algorithms build up what you talk about and throw ads in there. That's my guess. If someone else knows differently, let me know. 6, you spend a lot of time talking styrene kits as well. I know you recently changed the name, but do you think calling it Modeling and 3D Printing Podcast would get more viewers? It just seems like less and less time spent on garage kits because there are fewer and fewer garage kits being produced. Just thinking. We'll see. We'll give it a year. But I still like, it's always going to be a garage kit thing, and just we'll throw other things in there, but maybe. I'm not sure when you go back to school, but enjoy the last bits of summer you have left and be well. Thank you for the moment, the enjoyment you guys have given me. And it has been a fun ride. I'm back at school hating life. We'll leave it at that. All right. This one, I think, is one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time on our show. Scott, you ready for this? Did you look at this yet?
Yep.
Holy crap. Here it is. Pulling it up now. Everybody check this out. This is from Raymond LeGrant. Hi, Jason. Feel free to use any of this or none of this. I emailed you when you first started Model Club TV. I totally remember this. About how light is portrayed on a model, which you referenced a Build an Amazing Figure modeler of Blade Runner, Harrison Ford, which was painted to look as if it was lit from the side and which you dedicated to some time covering. You also mentioned a Godzilla build where the flames of the fire nearby were reflecting on the kit itself. I have always been fascinated with light and models and how they interact, which is why I custom lit nearly all of my builds. So I started thinking on a build where the creature, alien, is made of light. The alien was in the first episode of The Outer Limits back in 1963. The creature was composed entirely of blue light per the episode. The effect used in filming of the creature was to film the person in a dark creature suit and then reverse the negative, making it seem the creature is composed entirely of light for black and white television. I wanted to duplicate this effect in my build, but seeing the creature was cast in dark resin, I found it nearly impossible. This, I think, was one of the nicest things I've heard happen. I contacted Danny from Dimensional Designs, Danny Sirocco, who we're in the work. He's coming on, right, Scott? Working on it?
What's that? Oh,
you're not even listening.
No, I'm sorry.
We're working on Danny Sirocco, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Danny's going to be after Jersey Fest.
Okay.
So.
And asked him if he could cast the creature in clear resin. He could and did. After receiving the alien, I decided the creature could only be lit from the inside and did with some creative drilling and blue LED string. I don't understand why others don't use this effect for their builds of ghosts and haunted creatures, etc. Attached are the results of that build. Note, it was Phil Kupka, who was a big Outer Limits fan, who got me in touch with Danny from Dimensional Designs. So I'd like to dedicate this build to him. I would never have called Danny without his encouragement. Let me know if you got this email. I got the email. So I'm thank you, Raymond LeGrant, for sending this. This is awesome. Like, how flippin' cool is this? It looks like it's like, holy crap, dude. What do you think, Scott? I'm going to cycle through some.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's the work he did lighting that thing is amazing. Especially, I wonder what color it was. Just white resin that it was cast in, or what?
It's probably, he said just clear, so I'm just assuming just clear, like just clear.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, if you did do it in like blue resin, like it might add to it, but I think it works perfectly the way it is.
Yeah, I've never seen the episode, but it's cool looking.
I think I've seen like this creature where people have painted it before, but man, that's fantastic. Well done, sir. I'm speechless because I love it. I like that you took the chance to even attempt to do it. Now, like, which makes it hard is it's solid, I'm sure, clear solid resin. Like if you had a printer and tried to print this hollow, my problem is sometimes with hollow prints, you get the supports on the inside that leave marks and they would show up. So I think this is the probably the best way to do that almost. Because you'd have to drill it anyway. Dude, this is just... And I don't think it would work. It works that it's in a dark background and room too. Like it wouldn't... But man, so cool.
Looks great.
So cool. All right. So, Chuck Homolka. And this is... I'm trying to debate whether I want to do this or not, but I'm going to. So Chuck always sends us some like stuff from Monsters in Motion coming with like some stuff they got coming out. And someone in one of our comments, I think it was Robert Trock, said, "Hey, be careful ordering from Monsters in Motion. They have a reputation of not getting you things."
They do.
And so about a year, I know for a fact, a year ago, I pre-ordered a model kit and I ordered a Creature from the Black Lagoon beach blanket. The beach blanket showed up in about 2 weeks. I am still waiting for that pre-ordered model kit from Monsters in Motion. So I called a few times. Every time, it's coming. We got to talk. We coming. So finally, it's been over a year that I pre-ordered this. I called a couple days ago, and he did not seem too concerned that it had been not in my hands yet, and said he would talk to the distributor and they would update the website with new information. That's what he said the last time, which was a month, 2 months ago, that it was coming. The website did update to saying it's now September sometime shipping, but I'm starting to get the feeling I'm not ever going to see this model kit. And then I said to him, and I'm looking at the Gunhead. So if you want to know what I'm looking for, it's I forget who's making it, but it's the Gunhead mech. It's got 2 little figures with it. Gunhead spelled Gunhed, Japanese kid. And I saw those kits available at Wonderfest. People had them on their tables. They're in their shelves. So now I'm starting to think I'm getting the runaround. So Chuck, I'm not mad at you, but I am not showing any Monsters in Motion stuff until I get my kit. And I'm using, for the first time in the history of this show, as a platform to get my stuff done. If Monsters in Motion is watching, I want my Gunhead model. Work with your distributor.
Have they
Please.
charged your card yet for it?
I have to go back and look. He said I already paid for it. But when I looked on theirs, here's the other thing. When I looked on the ad, it said, we won't charge your card until it's actually shipped. But then he said I had paid for it already. And then, because he got my order number, and then it also looks like it's cheaper now than when I originally ordered it. Like 30%, like a lot cheaper. So I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just want to get this straightened out. And you've been in this hobby as long as I have, maybe a little longer, but you've always heard horror stories of Monsters in Motion. And up until now, I never had a problem. So it's like, you don't have a problem until you do. So everyone be careful, because I got something really fast and now I'm waiting over a year for the other thing.
Gotcha.
I don't know what to do about it. Anyway. Our last email, and this is a strange one because it comes from Logan Scuzzfink. He wrote some poetry, it seems. And I think he's taking a shot at our word that got us in trouble. And I'm just going to read it. I'll let everyone else comment below or on the clubhouse, because I know he has his fan club over there.
Well, I wouldn't call it a fan club.
All right. Here we go. Some said with new issues of Universal model kits. Well, hold on. Should I read this as spelled and punctuated, or should I edit on the fly?
No.
Okay.
Edit on the fly.
Okay. Some said.
Read it anyway, but go ahead.
I know. Some said with new issues of Universal model kits by X Plus, it reminded them of those days being a kid. Back in the 60s. Yes, those halcyon days. When young Tommy was told to go to his room. On Friday and Saturday, it was cocktail night with parents and friends. So locked in his room, he would listen to 45, and I'm doing a lot of editing on the fly. He would listen to his 45s of Beatles' Let It Be. He built his precious model kits with toxic airplane cement and smelly enamel paint. Silly Tommy forgot to open his window. Eventually the fumes overtook him. His parents didn't care. Too much of their fun time. They're spelled wrong. The next day, his sister opened the door to find Tommy passed out holding a Frankenstein foot. His sister said, "Mom, Tommy is smelling glue again." Their mother, again, Their is the correct there. Their mother said, "Boys will be boys," all while sipping her whiskey tea. One day, waving at his neighbor, Dr. Steve, he realized he sure looked a lot like him. Oh, the 60s, such a trip. That's Logan's poetry. Anyway, that's the show, everybody. Have a great Model and Movies coming up next episode. Some other videos showing up. Thank you, David Horvath. Scott, anything you want to add?
No.
No. Okay. The gallery's really short this episode, so we didn't get a lot sent in. We had a lot last time, so check out the gallery. I'm not sure if there'll be a blooper. Maybe. We'll see everybody next
There
time.
should have been about 45 minutes of it.
It was.
So.
Oh, dude, I wish I was recording your filter. Hey, flip your filter on real quick.
Oh, yeah. Here's what locked us up.
This is what locked us up for 45 minutes. See if we can do it. Scott's computer, I think, started smoking and then took a shit and died.
Oh, wait. Oh, that might even be better, though. Hold on.
Oh, no. Watch Scott screw around with filters and watch it screw.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh, you can't find him now, can you? All right.
Wait, I got it.
Oh, here. Oh, there's his eyebrows. You see him pop up? Wait, do the Mark Orthling beard. I like how that grew in real quick. There it is. Wait, can you get rid of the eyebrows?
I like the eyebrows.
No, but can you get rid of the eyebrows and keep the mustache and beard? And the lipstick?
I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
All right, blow everyone a kiss
And
goodbye.
I pity.
Blow everyone a kiss goodbye, Scott.
Mwah. All right. Goodbye, Scott.